I was always told growing up, it's gonna rot your brains, it's a waste of time. And then, like, now I see where esports is at, and my family and I at home, we watch the League of Legends Championship.
I think a lot of students have just gotten another sense of how to belong and how to create relationships outside of what were the traditional avenues.
And a lot of my students talk about how they feel safe in the esports program, and that's their family, that's their community. And I think that esports gives kids a future that they might otherwise not have.
Man, I wish that had been available when I was in high school.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to our coverage of the PlayVS Fall 2019 Championships. This one is in association with the Alaska School Activities Association, and we have our Alaskan League of Legends Grand Finals next up between East High School and Dimond High School. Dimond High School has already taken home a win today for Rocket League. Can they do it again? But what I'm thinking about is East High School and how far they've come this season so far. East High School has grown tremendously over the last few months playing as a team. They started quiet, but with consistent and persistent coaching and work on their shot calling, they have improved and found their way to the grand finals versus Dimond High School. So who's going to win the championship title? Well, let's find out with Kios and Perino.
Back, everyone. Here we got another great League of Legends match for you all. Some great Rocket League. We're going to close out the night with some more League of Legends here. Last one went the distance, all 3 games, and excited to see if we'll have that again this time around. A slow series in our first one, but maybe we'll have a quicker one here.
Yeah, so excited to see the matchup that we get today. We have East High School versus Dimond High School. Both of these teams ready and set to duke it out on the Rift. I'm so excited to see what both teams can bring to the table.
And Alaska, it's a long ways off from here, but we saw some great talent in the Rocket League. I mean, there's just hidden gems everywhere, so maybe we'll get a treat to see some of the best players in the country, maybe all the way up in Alaska there. A lot of time spent indoors in the cold winter months.
Are you suggesting we might find a diamond in the rough from Dimond High School?
Perhaps. That's what the pun I was going for. I set you up pretty nicely, didn't I, here. Looks like we've got our finals now with B Sports versus Lynx here. Lynx went all the way through Hutch Golden Legends to get to this finals. B Sports Petersburg and Mayak to come here to the grand final, and excited to get this one underway here. We got a couple of minutes before we hop into draft. What are your thoughts going to this one after seeing a League of Legends match earlier today?
I am really intrigued in seeing the champion selection again. It was such a huge factor in our previous series. I think it's so dynamic when you have a set coordinated team, in the sense that when you play solo queue League of Legends, the champs that you tend to play are a little bit different than how you function in a team. So I'm looking for players to come out with their best champions and their best picks and see what they can bring that might not be currently in meta.
Well, we're going to get right into it. The draft already ready for us, wasting no time here. We have East High School on the left side of your screen there. They're going to have the first pick in the draft. We'll have to go through 3 bands first. But getting that first pick can be powerful to get something you really want right off the bat here. Dimond High School going to be on the right side of your screen. They'll get the second pick, but they'll have the opportunity to maybe counterpick some of those champions, get something that's really strong against what East High School bring here, as you see the Mundo, the first band here.
Yes, and it's so interesting as well. If you do your homework on the opposition, you can try to get an idea of which champions they like to play, which champions they're really successful on. You may want to try and target those players in the ban phase, try and take away those champions from their pool.
So you're going to get a Ken and a Kiana ban, a champion we haven't seen too much, but is incredibly powerful in both the jungle and mid lanes. She's a very scary champion to go up against here, been taken away. The fellows we saw earlier also going to be banned out. So some of the powerful champions being banned right off the bat here. Haven't seen Miss Fortune today, but she's been a powerful champion as of recent times. Maybe we'll get to see her early on here, but a lot of ingenuity coming in the first series we had with a lot of interesting picks here. We'll see if East High School and Dimond, can maybe bring some of those unique picks out as we have some more unique bands here. Morgana played earlier, but Vladimir we haven't seen.
Yeah, and again, I really like the positional bands as well. They're not targeting any one individual with their player bands. They're going after all the different positions on the Rift. I really like that diversity in their bands, and we get our first pick as well.
Karma, an interesting pick here. Flexible between even 3 lanes. You can play support mid or top lane. So definitely can be moved around for East High School if they want to. More passive laner, but offers a lot of utility for the team later on here as we get a Shen and Zaya on the other side here. Could be a bot lane duo, but also could be a top lane pick for the Shen. We'll have to see where that goes. Both sides trying to flex things around.
Yeah, I actually really like the Zaya pick as well. I think she's incredibly underrated overall as a champion. Her kit is so unique with those feathers and the recall ability. I think she's a great AD carry when she's played well. I like the pick.
Well, okay, a champion we've seen earlier today. The Echo going to be grabbed, as well as the Warwick. So this time around, it looks like it'll probably be a Warwick jungle with the Echo mid, which we've seen a lot of Echo jungle, but now getting moved into the mid lane here up against a mage, which is kind of a favorable matchup here now. The Malzahar. Echo's generally pretty good into the mages, but that ultimate, the Nethergrass, can be devastating. The Echo's so reliant on using his own ult to go ahead and Chrono Break, come back, get a lot of health back here, but if the Nethergrass was on him, he never gets a chance to. So we'll see how that mid lane matchup goes as we get some bans here coming through on the second phase.
Yes, and you can see the Caitlyn ban coming out as well. As you mentioned, no Misfortune ban though. Some of these AD carry bans, not really sure. The AD carry pool is unique in the sense that there's a lot of versatility between the different champions themselves. Many of them have very similar kits, and they're very similar to play, so it can be harder to target in bans.
Well, Lucian, a champion we talked about a lot earlier today, not going to be available this time for East High School as we get a double 80 carry ban out of Dimond with the Zac and Set on the other side here. So jungle and top lane. And another blind pick Trundle. I am very interested by this here. It's not completely blind pick because the Warwick is going to be in the jungle most likely, although sometimes you see a flex of the Warwick to the top lane. Usually a jungler, though, almost always. So the Trundle going to come in to combat another tank. We saw him against the Sejuani, he did pretty well there, but now up against the Warwick, can steal away those resistances once again here. As we get an 80 carry, and an 80 carry we haven't seen. Jinx going to be picked up here, and then, oh, I'm always excited about this one. We get the Zed in the mid lane here for Nemesis, taking a little bit after one of the pro players we have in the European region, actually, and he's going to pull out the Zed here. Should be a spicy one there in the mid lane.
Yeah, I love that Zed mid pick. It's such a confidence play too. Zed, a very mechanically difficult champion to play on. I love the aggression there from East High School saying, all right, last pick, lock it in, give me Zed, and let's go.
All right, here we go. Zed in the mid lane, so I mean that most likely the Echo going to move up to the top side here, and that'll be a matchup up against the Aatrox, whereas Zed will be matched up against the Malzahar in the mid lane here. So it looks like it will be a Shen support with the Zaya 80 carry here. So an interesting sort of switch up on the last couple picks here, where both sides kind of flex things around here. The Shen eventually became a support champion here, and the Aatrox was picked to move him to the top side. So a lot of changes in the draft as we went along, a lot of mind games being played there, and then the Karma will eventually be moved all the way down to the support position here. But that's a big combo. Karma and Jinx at the mid-game, end-game, where you have the ability to speed up everyone. You kind of dive on the enemy backline here. The Jinx is firing away with all those rockets. That's going to be a scary composition for sure at the end of the game.
Yeah, I just really like how both teams played off of each other with their picks here, trying to find these unique, flexible matchups. We talked about how many of these champions can be played in different roles on the Rift. They gave themselves choices and flexibility to move around in this draft phase.
Well, here we go. We'll get into game momentarily, but before we do so, I'm kind of interested by the Malzahar here. We've talked a little bit, I think we had a few games of it before, but what do you think that matchup's going to be like against the Zed in the mid lane? Because Malzahar's a mage, a bit immobile. How do you think that matchup's going to go? Because it seems certainly like it might be a bit bloody.
It seems that way, yeah. I think it depends a lot on the skill of the Zed player. Zed is a champion that when you're playing him well, you can do tons of damage, you can get a lot of picks early, and you can really affect the entire game from your mid lane. If the Zed player is strong, I think this might go in his favor, but you never know. We just have to get into the action and see.
Well, here we go. Into game we go, and excited definitely to get this series started here as we get the Warwick in the jungle. Not a pick you see too often, but excited to see what he can do here. Saw buffs recently, a little bit of a few buffs on his W to give him a bit of extra attack speed, a couple extra percents there. Not massive, but certainly can be meaningful in some situations, especially early game. That extra 1 or 2% or mid game, you know, that can be the difference between, you know, surviving and not here. As we get the Warwick looking to go bot side, get this Bleach from his bot lane. Same thing with the Trundle here. But once again, we see a rejuve beat start with the jungle item, which we saw a couple days ago. We had a jungler who likes to go for that start as well here. More common on the Warwick specifically because he just heals so much in the jungle. The sustain is amazing that he doesn't really need those pots early on. He can just go for that rejuve B to get that early team out, which he needs which he really does need to farm effectively, because Warwick really needs that TM out for that AoE damage.
The other thing I like pointing out here as well is looks like we're going Zed top, Echo mid. Interesting switch there from those two players. I feel like both those champions, though, could really either go both ways.
Yeah, both typically mid laners. There used to be a tank Echo time back many seasons ago, but we haven't really seen that recently because of the changes to his kit. So for the most part, he's building AP, going mid or jungle as a AP assassin character. As we get unfortunate DC, so quick pause, and Zed as well, also typically a mid lane champion, an AD assassin instead. Very, very strong champions. Once they get their items together, can definitely look to blow up that back line. But I'm interested to see how that matchup goes in the top side here, because Zed is typically played against ranged champions, squishy mages or just ranged champions that don't have a ton of health here. But against the Aatrox, he'll have a lot more health and a lot more healing. So I'm interested to see how that matchup goes. Has Ignite for the Grievous Wounds, but I don't know if he'll have the damage to consistently find that all in against the Aatrox. We'll see how that one goes. Haven't seen this matchup really ever, I don't think, in my mind, at least the new Aatrox anyway. So we'll see how that one goes, but interesting swap here for sure from East High.
Yeah, and the other thing to mention as well in the Zed, no teleport up there, so really if he wants to have that mobility and have that pressure outside of the top lane, he's very restricted in doing so, because when he loses that teleport, he can't really get to the areas of the map to otherwise affect the outcome of the game.
Yeah, do have the TP on the Echo, but there's a strict TP advantage for Dimond High School. They even have TP on their support, which is really quite interesting. The Grasp as well on the Shen. So a really interesting setup there on the other side for Dimond High School with that Shen support. He's going to have two globals, the ultimate and the teleport there. So he'll be able to move around the map quite a lot. And that seems to be Dimond High School's plan, is just to play the map more so than playing that individual lane here, as they do go for a gank early on with the Trundle, but spotted out by East High. They're all over that. No chance for that to work.
Yeah, we're seeing some early skirmishes here in this laning phase. Just sort of feeling each other out. I feel like on the Rift, you have to get a feel for what your opponent is capable of doing, maybe push the boundary a little bit early, try and see if you can make a play here as another gank coming in mid.
And the Trundle here to try and shut down this Echo who's going on in Malzahar for big trade, but he'll be able to get out. Thanks to that movement speed in the past. When you get 3 huts on the enemy there, you're able to get a lot of movement speed and extra damage off that, so you can run away or continue the trade to however you want to do that. But the Zed already doing a good job against the Aatrox on the top side. Very good sign for the side of East High if that matchup goes well, because the Zed becomes a real threat in the mid game, for this Malzahar and the Xayah, who the Xayah has a very powerful Featherstorm to try and dodge any damage from these assassins jumping on her. It only lasts for so long, and she only gets to use it once in a team fight for the most part. So if you got an Echo and a Zed on top of you, how are you going to deal with 2 of them? That's definitely going to be a question we're going to have to answer here for sure. But this Aatrox already suffering in this matchup. The Zed really in a big health lead.
Yeah, Zed just applying a ton of pressure on top side. I think he's trying to play to his strength and play to his advantage here. Just really forcing Aatrox off the minion wave, not really letting him CS. It's going to run out sooner or later, but the early pressure is a good start for Zed.
Certainly is here. You can see that mark above him, though. Warwick actually gets a lot of movement speed towards low health champions. Even when he's on the other side of the map, there's a little scent trail if you are playing the Warwick, where if you follow it, you get a ton of extra movement speed, and there's some more interaction. You get a little bit of attack speed. There's a couple extra things in his kit, really. But the big thing is he'll run really fast at those low health targets whenever they get there. So when you ever see that mark above their head, that means he's hunting them, and he wants to do it. As we get more hunts, first blood going to go over to the Zed here. Finds the all-in, the Trundle coming in for the gank. Going to get turned away, and the Zed maybe trading back on him, looking for it. He's got a level advantage. In the end, Trundle just going to back off, says I can't win that one. And we get first takedown over to the Zed. 1-0 there.
It was the right idea, I think, from Dimond High School. Again, Zed having so much pressure on that top side, but just not an effective gank coming through. Zed able to take down the Aatrox early. It forces him into the 1v1 with the Trundle. I think Zed will take that matchup any day.
Taunt in the bot lane, but not a lot of follow-up there. The Xayah just trying to last another third. A lot of damage. Ignite Go is down the Xayah, using both summoner spells. Will she survive? It looks like she will, just on a sliver of health. That's close one. She's able to survive, but now going to be pushed out of lane. Warwick not nearby to try and clean up that kill. But will be able to grab that dragon here, so an Ocean should go over soon. Warwick very low on mana, though, so may need some help from his friends. Maybe the Echo will rotate down and help that. I think Ocean Drake is really great early on. It helps you for that lane sustain and makes this dominating laning phase already for East High that much more potent here. The bot lane going to rotate, help out. This dragon will certainly go over. Warwick going to sustain through it here. Has Smite, still doesn't cure it as well. Did throw that down momentarily. There it is. Dragon over. Warwick with the credit here. So 1-0 already, and the Dragon thing's going great for East High with a gold lead of about 700 rather.
Yes, the really important thing from East High as well is they're applying pressure in all areas of the map. Again, we talked about the Zed top, but also applying the pressure in the bottom lane allows Warwick to come down and take that dragon basically uncontested. Needed a little help from his friends, as you mentioned, low on mana, but managing to find it.
Taunt flash here. Can they find it? The Jinx? No, they will not be able to. Trundle here once again. Flash in. Committed. They don't get the Jinx in the end. Had to trade a flash, but gets away big there as Zai comes back to lane with just a crit cloak. Not great in the early game because the stats it gives you basically 20% chance to critically strike, which deals extra damage on your autos. But it doesn't give you that flat AD, so only 20% of the time you're actually getting damage, which is not a great item to pick up early, but you want to build it so you can get into the Essence Reaver at some point. But you much prefer an item like Caulfield's Warhammer early on, as we have a little bit of a technical difficulties there, the game not continue to play. But we do have this really interesting start here with the Zed in the top lane going super well. Not a matchup you see too often here, but a really cool adaptation to get a good matchup in the lane here as the game will resume. We're back. I think everything's good here. Yeah, scoreboard's back.
Yeah,
everything's fine.
It makes our job a little bit easier to have the scoreboard up.
Yeah. Nobody panic, it's fine. And CS leading the jungle as well. Warwick going well. So these unique picks for East High working out quite well here as we get a gank in the top side. Flash away from the Aatrox. He'll survive, but a nicely played gank there. The Echo actually coming up, not a jungle gank that time. The mid laner rotating through. The Echo down in CS, but has gotten the pressure needed to get that dragon as well as helping out his top laner. So the Echo, yeah, CS isn't great, but hey, he's helping out his team. That's what's really important here. And the Zed doing such a great job. On the top side, things are going pretty well for East High basically everywhere.
You do have to be careful, though, again, as Echo comes back to lane, notice the roam on the mid lane. It looks like more action going to be coming out down the bot.
Another gank from Trundle on the bot side. Double taunt lands for the Shen. Here comes the TP, and that's going to be the Echo. Now the Warwick, and he's going to find the Fear. Already one down for Diamond High School. Coming in with the Nethergrass, that's the Malzahar. And eventually the Jinx will come out of the suppression. Going to survive most likely here as the Malzahar will not be selected. Triple for the Warwick here as it's going to be cleaned up. An ace already for the side of East High. Echo getting the last one, but 3 for the Warwick.
Wow, what a great rotation and a great fight coming out there on the part of East High. Just really doing a good job of managing their cooldowns and going all in when they have the shot, really turning that fight back around on its head. They pick up the ace, and they are rolling early.
The Zed now with 2. 2-0 scoreline in the top side here. 52-36 in CS. The top lane matchup not going great. Echo, again, he hasn't done well specifically in lane, but his rotations have been really good, helped out his team immensely here. And overall, the team has basically over a 3,000 gold lead now at just 8.5 minutes. We did a very back and forth series earlier on today, which went all 3 games here. But East High maybe trying to break that trend here as they're off to a hot start.
They most certainly are. And I'm looking at the Warwick in particular, that 301 stat line. Once he gets going, Warwick, he can really affect the entire outcome of this game. Having that advantage early will be massive for him. He'll be able to apply pressure now in every lane on the map. It looks like they may even be gunning for Rift.
Well, I really like this lane swap for sure. Rift Herald going to be taken, but they also move the bot lane up there. So now they have a 2v1 advantage there. Zed can hold his own because he's so strong right now on the bot side. And you can move to the top side with your bot lane. And with Jinx being a really great turret taker, combined with his Rift Herald, this could be a huge play here. Warwick coming over to channel this. Actually, he's already done it. Rift Herald's already been spawned, and they're going for the first turret top side here. For the Trundle trying to come in to help out his Aatrox and save it. Flash away from the Warwick here. And the Karma going to shield everyone. Buys a bit of time here as the Shen DC'd maybe. I'm not sure, he's just standing there. The Zed trying to find the enemy AD carry, but in the end, Desire will be okay. As the play top side will be called off by East High. They get a couple plates, but not able to finish the turret there. And the Shen finally back. He's back. He was just waiting. He's making sure his AD carry was, up to the task. Got to test your AD carry.
If you are in the Xayah in that moment, that is horrifying. Having a Zed right on your tail like that. Xayah just doing everything that she can to get away from that fight. She manages to do so, but that was a very close encounter, and not one I think she's inclined to repeat.
Yeah, here we go. Onto the turret they go once again. Jinx trying to knock this one down. Only 10 minutes in, but looking for this first turret gold. When you take down the first turret, you get a lot of extra gold, plus all platings are still up, which they despawn at 14 minutes. You get a lot of extra gold as well. So They could have a massive gold swing here if they're able to knock this one down. As Warwick here once again in the top there to make sure it happens, but Trundle coming back again to try and counter this play. Warwick taking the damage from the turret. They're going to kite away, just a little bit of health left, and with this cannon minion, they're getting a lot of damage done, but still, this wave will not be it. They need another couple. As Zoomerang Deathrock goes down, almost finding enough damage there to get rid of that Aatrox, that pesky Aatrox, but not able to this time as Zed coming forward with the Youmuu's Ghost Blade. Big damage on Azai. He's going to take it forward. Featherstorm and the taunt come through. They able to root the Zed here, but in the end, Azai just has to back off. Has the flash, but uses the Featherstorm and burning down to that Ignite.
Really smart from the Xayah there. Again, using her ultimate to get up in the air, away from the Zed. It buys her time to escape. Another fight breaking out, though.
But the Echo going to buffer the stun here with the Parallel Convergence. Going to get out of the Nethergrass here. He's being chased by 4. Good flash away. The Echo, individually, again, has not been great this game, but now just dodged the gank on 4-man. He's absorbing so much pressure and helping his team. Great start for him in the mid lane here. Dragon going to be started up by Dimond High School, but they're so far behind. If there is a rotation from East High, this fight could go really terribly.
And we're seeing now the Warwick and the Echo moving up through the jungle, trying to contest this to the best of their ability. We'll see what happens in this fight here.
They do have a pink in the pit here, but there's a ward from East High spotting us out in the river there. You can see the blue ward as a dragon, about 1,500 health. Here comes the Zed. Already Shurikens are letting fly. Warwick goes in with a 5-man fear. And already East High off to a big start in this fight, but a base kite back from the Xayah. Massive damage from the feathers here as the Xayah is trying to cut her heart out, but no, East High, they're too strong. They're on the chase. Echo gonna back to save his life, but now that's a huge play from East High. They're gonna clean up with a second ace before 12 minutes in the game. They have 2 aces and now looking towards the dragon here. Gonna try and pick up this mountain. Massive swing from East High. It looked like at the start it would be a clean team fight win, but then brilliant kiting from the side of SKT. Goonie kited back, got so much damage, but not quite enough.
You have to give the Xayah a ton of credit there, doing everything that she possibly can to try and turn that fight in her favor. She does manage to pick up a couple, but it's simply not enough.
Hold on, here comes the Trundle. He's going to test this dragon. No one here to support the bot lane. TP coming in, and now the Jinx can't get away here. Karma going to flash out. She's maybe going to fall. No, will not quite fall here as the Trundle trying to secure this dragon here. Trundle has no smite. Stolen away. Oh my goodness. Once again, the Echo comes up huge. Nemesis with that steal on the dragon. Unfortunately, the smite was already used by the Trundle, I believe, in the previous fight. As a result, he gives up the dragon. We saw a 4-shot Jhin steal the dragon earlier on, and now the Echo. Massive plays here. Mid laners, 80 carry, stealing dragons all over the place.
Yeah, okay, there's your individual Echo play, right? Coming right back in saying, all right, I might not have the lane advantage, but I'm going to make impact plays where I can. You mentioned it earlier, he's doing a great job of drawing the pressure, but then the Drake steal as well. Come on.
I mean, Nemesis has been... He's been an unselfish player, right? He's played for the team. He hasn't played for himself, and then he comes up huge there. Massive plays by Nemesis. May not look great on the scoreboard right now, but he's been a big part of his team's success so far here. And now the Zed and the Warwick getting out of control. And speaking of Zed, here we go in the side lane. Well, just forces the flash immediately from the Aatrox. Mad respect there. I mean, I think you have to show it at this point.
Certainly. Again, the Aatrox has had enough of this Zed already, just wanting absolutely nothing to do with it as another fight.
Going to get rooted up here. Shen to come in to help out. Nethergrass used by the Malzahar. Taunt going to come through on both the Jinx and the Karma. Karma going to fall here. Jinx will get away here with the traps as well, covering her retreat. Unfortunate there. The first time this sport has fallen, but not the end of the world here, especially since it wasn't your 80 carry going down. I think that they're happy with that, but at least something for Dimond High School to hang their hat on and say we did a good job here. Super Mega Death Rocket comes through, not able to quite find the Malzahar in the fountain. That damage could sometimes get you on the back, but not this time.
Would have been an absolutely incredible play to finish a kill from that range, but not quite able to get it there is the Jinx. So yeah, just looking again across the entire map here, I'm just not sure what the path is for Dimond. I think they really got to try and press the attack with Xayah. She's the only one, really, I think, that can come through with enough damage to try and win this game.
Alrighty, so we're only about 15 minutes into this game here. Already 11-5 the scoreline, but hold on. Zed does not want to wait here. He's got a lot of damage there in the mid lane. Won't be able to find Malzahar. Now Nemesis going to ult back here. Massive damage onto the Xayah. He goes again looking for the passive proc. He's going to get it. Finds the enemy 80 carry. Well done there as now that Warwick's pretty fast here on the hunt for this Aatrox. He's going to get it there. Jinx with the complete Infinity Edge. She's starting to get really strong. As Zed coming in the mid lane. Once again, the Malzahar didn't respect the Zed coming around from the side. The flash used, but he gets it.
This is starting to get a little out of hand. a little out of hand here for East High. The Zed play in particular, so strong, able to move across all different areas of the map, finding the picks where he can get those one-on-one situations. So much damage, so effective.
Wow, what a start here from East High in game number 1. Up to a big lead. As a lot of damage being put down here. Can't even sit underneath his own tower. Super Mega Death Right, gonna get it! Oh my goodness, the last Noblesse gonna get it once again. His 4th of the game. The Jinx, I mean, she's incredibly strong right now. Is Infinity Edge completion. Massive damage, and the Karma also helping out with that one. And now the Zed and Echo, they're out of control as well. I don't know who you can even go against now. Everyone's so strong on the side of East High. As it looks like the idea for Dimond High School is to try and find Nemesis here, but the backup coming through here from Ace to help out his teammate. Nope, he's just going to run through. And maybe going to draw off that second Rift Toad. He's got a second one in the pocket here. As you know, when it finds 3-man fear here, the Zed well on the side, simply outplayed, looking for the backline. This pressure going to come through. They're going to get the Warwick here. Big shot on Nethergrass used as well. Big fight for Dimond High School. They're able to find the jungle and the mid laner here. Nemesis and Ace both falling, and simply outplayed, not able to get anything done in that fight here. Oh no. They're thrown down. Looks like the bot lane of East High will get out okay. So the outplay looking for the Malzahar going forward here. Okay. Well, that was too quick to even call already. That Malzahar is gone off your screen as the taunt away from the Shen will make sure he gets to safety. But now here comes the East High squad looking for this mid lane turret here to defend. They've got their support and AD carry and jungler here for Dimond High School. But neither side going to hard engage, and then when you able to dissipate about a third of the health left here on this mid lane turret in the only 17 minutes in. Turret planes are gone, but this turret still can take a while to knock down here. But with the Jinx, that attack speed can be big. That's going to be outplayed. Oh, flash away. Another respect flash here as the Zed's going to put massive damage down, and Tricky Zach comes in to follow up the initial play from the Zed here. Simply outplayed Tricky Zach. Mind for that one, as now Aatrox caught again, caught by the traps of the Jinx. He'll fall as well. Riftjo gonna get second charge. Another big play from downtown, simply played. And the last Noblesse cleaning up with those kills. 3 down here for Dimond High School, and now Zeg gonna go in, gonna take the Shadow back out over the wall. It's just every single time they walk up, simply outplayed, finds another one, and onto the Dragon they go looking for the Inferno.
There are just too many problems on the plate here for Dimond High School. They managed to finally get the pick onto the Warwick. They get the balancing even, but it's simply not enough. As simply outplayed in his Zed just has come through and taken over this game.
It has been a dominating performance out of the side of East High here. Only 18 minutes in, but they are up almost a little over 8,000 gold actually, 8.7 thousand roughly, as Dimond High School have their hands full. They have one of the best abilities in Nethergrass to pick people off with. That's the good news. The bad news is that the game is so fast right now from East High. They're so mobile that it's hard to ever get an out rotation and just find someone alone to even get something going here for Dimond. And they've lost all 3 dragons so far. Dominance across the map from East High.
Yeah, so many of these East High champions are so far ahead, it's difficult to even pick out who you would want to take in the 1v1. Maybe Nemesis, the Echo mid lane, but he's just playing it smart. He's just saying, okay, well, I know they're going to want to try and pick me out individually, so I'm just going to stick with my teammates and let them continue to go.
Because he's ahead, he's also picked up the Zonias here. He's still got the damage because he's just so far ahead, but the Zonias using that extra safety blanket here. Might also be good to pick up a QSS in the coming minutes here, especially for the last Noblesse, and maybe simply outplayed as well. Getting those QSSs to disrupt that Nethergrass, that picks over Sash to cleanse, that would be huge. So maybe that'll be the option for them in the coming moments here. Want to get those 2 items first to get that damage down, but now QSS time, I think. Now that you're ahead, just want to make sure you don't get picked off by that Malzahar here, as we have another minute or so before we get that Baron, and 3 minutes for the next Dragon. So right now, all that is on East High's mind is trying to push forward and maybe find another engagement or some other turrets here, as already the turret on the top side only has that inhibitor turret left on it. Potentially opening there is flashing. Nethergrass put down, but that's onto the support. They're going to grab her, but now, oh no, in the backline, the Malzahar, the heal will save him for now. He'll be outplayed trying to get it out here, but in the front line, somewhat tanky is that Warwick here. He's going to allow the AD carry to get a double there, as a massive team fight once again from the National Blast, and Zed and Jinx for combined for some big plays here, as in the side lane Nemesis and the Aatrox going at it here. PreyQ trying to run away here, but Nemesis has it ultimate. Remember, he can heal a lot of that damage off, as well as some massive damage coming back through if you're in that area of effect. But in the mid lane, with the Jinx pushing, already an inhibitor down.
Yeah, just so much pressure being applied by East High. Whenever Diamond see perhaps an opportunity or an opening, they just simply get crushed in those team fights. The Warwick, the Zed, the Jinx, all coming alive there. So much damage across all three characters. It's simply too much to handle. Just a great overall performance, really, from East High in multiple spots.
Well, we've got a Baron up. East High have decent Baron taking potential, but tanking it's a little difficult. Warwick, has a lot of sustain and is pretty tanky, but at this stage of the game, at only 20 minutes, the Baron does still hurt a lot. So they can knock it down pretty quick with the Jinx, but you got to be careful you don't lose too much health, otherwise Diamond High can come in and clean up. So the upgrade. I think he wants to go for it again. Nethergrass going to come down, though. This might be a mistake. The Zed, he's going to get the ultimate off here, but he's going to fall for sure. Shutdown. That was a miscalculation. Massive damage comes through. The Malzahar survives. 1v1 outplay. What a play by the Malzahar.
I was just about to say that you have to give a ton of credit to the Malzahar, showing no fear in the 1v1 spot, knowing the Zed might be getting a little bit overconfident, a little bit greedy perhaps.
And he also didn't purchase the QSS. He went for damage instead. Gets shut down there. The Jinx has that QSS. Last Noblesse, purchasing that one to make sure he's okay, but Simply Outplayed did not do that. In fact, he lived up to his name, just perhaps not in the way he was intending.
Certainly not in the way he was intending in that spot. But overall, he is still having an incredible effect on this game. Again, a 7-2-5 scoreline, absolutely nothing to sneeze at.
Well, we've got that Baron up, but again, with that Zed down, probably not good to start that one up yet. So it looks like the top side will be the option for East High to start to push in and establish some vision in the enemy jungles. They've already gotten rid of that mid lane inhibitor here. And Nemesis will be harassing the Trundle on his way through the jungle here. And more to be cleared out here. It is the Infernal. We didn't get a chance to talk about it because there's so much going on, but it's the Infernal map here, so a lot less brush, a lot less choke points here, so it's very open as opposed to a lot of the other map layouts we have when those dragon spawns. The map layout changes on the third dragon here, and East High looking to maybe push mid lane again with these super minions here. Wave clear decent with Xayah and Malzahar for Diamond High School. They can definitely stall up for a while, but East High maybe looking for the Baron now after they rotate back. They've got Zed in mid lane, but everyone else on Baron. 4 members here strong. Those wards in the pit do not see it because the control ward is knocking out Division right now. So Diamond High School has no idea this dragon is being, or the Baron is being started up here as they chase Simply Outplayed on the Zed. Looks like the Baron might go down without a contestant, but the Zed maybe not going to get away. Another Nethergrass going to find him, and once again, the Zed will fall. But hey, totally worth it if they get Baron.
The Zed draws so much attention in the mid lane there when he tries to push up. It allows the entire rest of the roster for East High to just simply go and take the Baron rather uncontested. It's unfortunate that Simply Outplayed loses his life there, but the trade is for the Baron.
Well, we've got the Infernal spawning as well. The next dragon for East High would mean they get the Soul here. So denying this dragon is huge. I mean, Diamond High is going to buy a lot more time. If they get in the Infernal Soul at 23 minutes with Baron, I mean, it's lights out. Game's over for 100%, right? But because they deny that dragon, they don't allow them to take the Soul. They've still got Baron, which they can do a lot with, but they at least don't give over that Soul too, which would mean no way they're going to win a fight in the coming minutes here. So small victories here for Diamond High School to work their way back. And of course, they get the Infernal themselves. I mean, that's more damage for them.
Yeah, and if you're East High School in this spot, you may want to slow it down just a little bit. Try and recollect, regroup, start working together again. They've been going for a lot of these 1v1 plays, and it hasn't shaken out for them. They still have such an advantage. I think they can just grind it out and let it ride, try and coast to victory.
Well, they've got the Baron on every member but the Zed here. Simply Outplayed will not have that buff, but Echo here with him in the top. So it's going to be a 3-2 setup, which is a unique sort of split. Don't see this very often here, but Nemesis may be lying in wait, trying to catch someone who walks a bit too close here. Only the Malzahar there in the top side to try and defend this one. If they're not careful, though, East High will give up a man advantage in the other side of the map with a 4-on-3. So they got to be very careful there, but Echo coming in the mid lane now going to push in that wave with the Baron buff here. So now it'll be a more traditional 1-3-1 setup, although it's like a 1-1-3. You get the idea.
Either way, it certainly works. They're applying pressure to all 3 lanes, trying to get into the base and break the defense here of Diamond High School, who have to hold on for dear life.
Jinx, a great turret taker here. She gets extra attack speed with her minigun when she's in that form. She can stack the attack speed up to 3 times, and she starts to take down those turrets quite a bit here, especially that Ardent Sensor on top of that, getting her more attack speed whenever she's shielded by that Karma. And now 2 inhibs down, looking for the third here. It might be an early end to this one. East High looking to end this one before it even really gets started, before Diamond High School have a chance to fight back. The Baron minions I mean, they're so strong. Not a way for them, Diamond High School, to clear them easily here. Even with the Zai Malzahar, decent wave clear, they just can't keep up with it. As mid lane inhibitor, gonna respawn, but immediately gonna be taken down by East High, it looks like.
Diamond High School may have something to say about this middle inhibitor here, but not enough.
Yeah, the gauge will not come through in the end here. As we have topside looking over there. Somebody played very, very low, gotta be careful there. But now here comes the Malzahar. He's gotta be careful as well, gonna get jumped on. The spell shield's gone, the root's gonna come through. And unfortunately, the Stand United will not come through. The Shen cannot save his mid laner here. As Kyle Durant going to take a lot of damage in the front line, but Trundle's so tanky, absorbing a lot of damage. Will be able to survive for now, but they lose the mid laner and lose 2 inhibitors.
Steep price to pay for Diamond High School, but they are still alive. They are forcing East back off of the base. It'll relieve some of the pressure temporarily. It's just, it seems like it's still too much.
2 minutes left on that Infernal, so another chance of the soul for East High, but they do not have a lot of worry, I think, in their future here. It's just a matter of slowly closing this one out here. They can wait for the soul, they can wait for the Baron, whatever they want to do here. Maybe they'll just push the pace and continue to go. Looks like that's the option for them, at least right now, but there are only 3 members here. They got to be careful they don't overstep as they're waiting on their mid laner and their AD carry to come back. As, again, 2 inhibs down means the super minions are going to be in the mid lane and the bot lane and be carrying a lot of pressure for Diamond High School to deal with here. East High still working this top side of the map, but now resetting, maybe going to look for the drag in a couple of minutes, but now they're staying here. A little bit indecisive, but they'll figure it out in a minute.
Even just by stalling, though, it's allowing those super minions to come through. You can see the pressure on the bot lane already where Echo is. Those minions came all the way through and trying to get up to the turret there at bot side with no champion presence whatsoever.
All right, so
East High School playing the advantage.
A 4-1 setup here. They got the Echo in the bot side here. He's got TP, so he can join this fight if necessary. It looks like the engage is going to come through from Diamond High School. Some of the members already low, though, and Echo working his way towards the base. He's coming in from the side. You can see on the mini-map there, he's actually on the Nexus turret. They have to go back to defend. One Nexus turret already down. Nemesis creating so much pressure there. But if they're not careful, to lose an inhibitor in the top side. Good move by Diamond High School, though. They move over when the wave isn't there, so they're actually losing the Nexus turret, but save this topside inhibitor here. But the engage has to come through. Massive damage from the Karma over the wall with a Mantra Q. And it looks like the ward's going to be cleared out. But then Tower will go down here, and now the engage is going to come through. Shen already so low. He'll fall, simply outplayed with that one. As it looks like the Zai going with Feathers Storm, but she's going to pull him back. Another, even up here, it's 1-1 so far. The Jinx trying to kite back, but she's taking a lot of damage, but now big collapse here by East High. They're done playing around. It's time to end this one here. Last inhibitor falls, and now the last of Diamond High School will fall as well. That's another ace, the 3rd ace of the game, and that'll be it. Just shy of 28 minutes, the game will end with East High victorious.
Yes, GG in the chat, everyone. East High maybe a little bit slower at the end there. They jumped out to an early aggressive start. They were very strong. Sloppy perhaps in spots, but overall, easy 1-0 victory.
I mean, they dominated throughout. A little slow at the end, but it was mostly them just playing it smart, not overcommitting too hard. That's why we had a bit of a longer game than some of our ones in the past, where it was just like slowly, we have the advantage. We know we just don't want to mess it up. Don't do anything too crazy. They played it really well. Baited their Zed. Unfortunately, he fell in the mid lane, but it got them the Baron, and that's what eventually got them the end there, breaking open even more inhibitors than they had, because they already had the one in the mid lane.
Oh, of course, and I actually want to give a huge shout out to Nemesis there, playing that, that off roll where when they're going for that 4-1 split push, just being able to go into that bot lane, coming up, playing unselfishly, right? Just drawing the attention away from the rest of the engagement topside, able to collapse finally onto the base. They get the last engagement, they take it home.
Really well done for sure there. I'd say we've got a really fast-paced series on our hands compared to the one before, but I think, based on the way they played, it was just, again, that fight around, I believe it was the laning phase from the Zed was fantastic, but also that fight around the Dragon was huge. That's what really turned the game for sure. I mean, get rid of that Zed. I think that's problem number 1 here for sure, but also just a few extra adjustments and maybe that game would be a little bit closer there because they were playing a little bit more passively in that one and trying to use that TP to their advantage, but they never really got the opportunity to outnumber on the global. And so maybe they can, pretty good things. Diamond High School can come back in this one, but East High off to a blazing start in game 1.
And guys, that will be it for us momentarily. That is the conclusion of game number 1. We will be back in just a moment with game number 2. Do not go anywhere. We will be back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Fall 2019 Championships for PlayVS. My name is Nekra, your host for this evening, and we are in the middle of our League of Legends Grand Finals between East High School and Dimond High School. East High School is up 1-0 in the series so far, and they had a pretty dominant performance during that Game 1. Can they keep up the pace and the pressure for this Game 2 and take the championship, or is Dimond High School going to get the reverse sweep? Let's find out from Kios and Perino.
All right, here we are, ready for Game 2. A small delay, but we're ready to go now. What are your thoughts after Game 1? East High looked pretty good. Any chance for a comeback?
I think so. I think they have to do some target banning on the half of Dimond High School, though, in this draft in particular. I think they got to take away the Zed. Such a carry champion when played well. Obviously, the Zed came out alive in that series, all over the map. We're starting in the top lane, but really working the whole way throughout the game. I think if they can take that away first, at least push East High School off of their comfort zone and try to get them to do something different.
Yeah, the Zed, so powerful. A top lane Zed, which is not where you typically see him. Kind of an interesting adaptation to put him in the top seed there. Got him against the Aatrox, but turned out to be a really good matchup, dominating throughout from level 2 basically onward. Aatrox couldn't do anything in that matchup. Certainly a dominating performance there. Myers, though, Echo was actually very effective as well in the mid lane this time, though, where we don't usually see. We saw him in jungle a lot, but this time in the mid lane, that seemed pretty effective as well. I'm thinking get rid of the Zed here, but you also got to figure out a way to deal with that Echo because he had a lot of map impact as well.
And the interesting thing about both those characters is you're not necessarily even targeting a lane, you're targeting a champion, right? Normally, I would say, okay, if you're banning Echo, it's because you're banning the jungle, and if you're banning Zed, you're banning a mid lane. But really, the way that East High School played it, it makes it so much more difficult to work around because of the flexibility of those champions built into them and the style that they use them. So I don't know. I don't know how you work around it, but hopefully Dimond High School has an answer.
Certainly, you would hope they do. Down 1-0. I mean, it's do or die time. Like, you can't. There's no more games here. This is the last straw. So we'll see if they can recover here. But East High School looking so good to start things off. I'm excited for this one. I think, obviously, like you said, get rid of that Zed here. But also, it just seemed like full map control here. So I think going for an early jungler could be good for Dimond High School. They didn't really have that pressure that they were looking for on the map here. They lost basically all the dragons except that one Inferno, which they traded for Baron. So maybe getting a jungler that can really contest that a bit better here, as well as being a bit better at fighting early on here. My eyes are on the Olaf. We haven't seen him yet today, but I think he's probably a good solution to that issue here. Complements all the other champions they want to play as well. I think the Aatrox, Malzahar, if they go back to those, good with the Olaf, so maybe that could be an option there. But definitely, I think my eyes are on the jungle because while we keep talking about the solo laners there, without a support from a jungler, that can all turn around on you. Because especially with champions like Zed and Echo, they want to get aggressive, but if they can't do that because of the jungle pressure, that really stops a lot of their power in lane.
It most certainly does. And I also want to see from East High School, I want to see the continued aggression early. They really jumped out strong early, and they never really stopped. Yes, it took them a little bit longer to finish the game, but they never really doubted the outcome. They went through, they pushed their lanes, they drove into the base. We saw some great split pushes there at the end after taking control of the objectives. I think you just have to continue to stay on that aggressive style.
That definitely seems like their style here. We'll see if that can be taken away from them. But there are a lot of assassins here. We've talked about the Akali before. Also seen this Echo and Zed here. There's a lot of good assassin options. Even the Diana, if they want to pull that one out here. So actually getting rid of that style for them is really difficult, especially when the meta really favors them, how quick it's been. That game is a little longer, almost got to 30 minutes, but most of the time it's been 20, 25 minute. 30 minutes are kind of long games. I think it really got elongated more because they were playing it slow to end the game safely, but the way the meta is with how fast it is, how fast-paced it is, it seems like that's a style that really favors East High in that they have a slight advantage in this match because the meta favors them a little bit more than Dimond High School, who seems to want to play a bit of a slower style, especially that Malzahar, who's like, well, I kind of want to play a bit of slower, just kind of wait for my ultimate cooldown, wave clear, and then trying for the big fights, whereas it's just go, go, go from East High.
Because we definitely saw moments from Dimond High School where they were able to find advantageous team fights. They were able to find 2v1s and 3v1s where they were able to catch East High School out in spots. They need to do more of that if they want to try to extend the length of these games.
I definitely agree here. big thing for me as well as slowing down the pace of the game is wave clear. We haven't seen a lot of good champions with wave clear recently. The Zaya is a pretty decent wave clear champion. Malzahar isn't great against Baron minions, especially though, because he relies on the first minion falling for his wave clear to actually stack up. So I think investing in some wave clear champions could definitely be a good thing to do. We saw how powerful the Ziggs was in the earlier series. He's a great champion with some solid wave clear in the mid game. Maybe not exactly that champion, but I think that generally getting some more wave clear can help you stall out the game a bit longer.
And it's actually an interesting point, too, on the Zaya. I wonder if they will go back to her. She's not, I mean, she's viable and she's competitive, but she's maybe not the strongest champion in this meta. I wonder if they'll continue to stick with her, as you mentioned, for the wave clear, or if they go in a different direction.
Certainly. We'll find out in the draft coming up soon here. I think my eye is on the Zaya. I think that wasn't really the issue with the team comp earlier on, but certainly maybe there's a different direction they want to go. We talked about some crazy bot lane picks. Maybe that's what Dimond High School needs to spice things up. We'll see if that's what they go with here, but draft coming up soon.
Yes, as we're going to jump right into it again. Switching sides here, so Dimond High School will be on the red side, East High School on the blue. Dimond High School coming up with their ban first.
Yeah, so getting that first pick can be big as well to secure that specific champion you really want here, but Aphelios is going to be taken away right off the bat here. So East High School, we'll see what their strategy is here. They're coming in as the victors. They don't really have to necessarily make too many big adjustments, but just going to stick to their guns here. That Mundo ban, they're just going to go with that one again. I think just playing a very similar game, why change anything if nothing's wrong?
Exactly. You want to stick to what you're excelling with and just play your game. You have the game advantage, so even if Dimond High School is able to come out with something that really effectively counters your style, okay, well then you still have game 3, so it's not do or die for East High School. I agree. Just go with what you're good with.
All right, here we get the Vladimir, the Ornn. So some soul lane bans, but not really anything too specific that we're targeting just yet. Because we've seen Ornn support too, so Ornn, another one of those champions that flex. Champions that can flex between multiple lanes have been really, really valuable, it seems, in recent times in this new season. It's just been like, if you can, just in draft something that, doesn't make it very clear where it's going, it makes it so much harder for the enemy team to draft around that here. As you get the Kiana ban once again. So East High School basically the same strategy, but Dimond High School going to change it up a little bit with the Warwick ban. That they felt was a little bit too tough to deal with in the jungle there. A lot of pressure from that Warwick early on.
It makes sense. It is a target ban in the sense that you want to make sure that the jungler doesn't build too much of an advantage. Warwick was really effective last game. As we get our first picks, here we go.
Here we go. So Malphite first pick, which is not common, but usually it's paired with that Yasuo. So East High School going to take away what it looks like Dimond High School is trying to go for, which is Malphite, potentially the Yasuo follow-up here. But East High School is just going to snatch that Yasuo away and get the Volley Bear, which we've seen once before, but an incredibly uncommon champion. I'm excited for this one because Volley Bear actually does have some synergy with the Yasuo. He actually does have several knockups, so you could potentially have some Yasuo Volley Bear synergy. We'll see where all these guys go here, but so many flex, we don't really know exactly what's going to happen here as we get these set in the Heimerdinger here. Still don't know where those guys are going. There's a lot of questions right now.
I was just about to say the same thing with the Heimerdinger pick. Can really almost go into any lane that he so chooses. He's that flexible, but yeah, again, looks like we're getting another pick here from Nemesis.
We'll get the Morgana here. So likely a support, so that'll probably mean the Yasuo is a soul lane Yasuo, not going to be a bot laner. Unless Morgana goes mid and then maybe Yasuo bot. So there's still a lot of changes could come through. Set could even be a jungler because they already have the Malphite, so maybe the Malphite will go top and Set will go jungle. Or maybe the Malphite will go into the mid lane, then Set will go top. Bottom line is we have really no idea where all these champs are going here. In fact, some of the teams might not know where they're going here because they're trying to read what the enemy team is doing and move those guys around. So this is kind of one of those interesting drafts where it's like, well, I could guess where they're going, but could I say with any certainty? Not really, because I think that it's still to be determined for both of these sides here as we get a couple more bans. And 80 carry focus for Dimond, so they definitely believe this Yasuo is going to be in the soul lane.
Ooh, the Renekton pick coming out from the last Noblesse there. I like that one.
Yeah, so going to be the Renekton. Probably will be in the top side for Crimson, assumedly. And then the Yasuo will go mid. And then East High School are waiting on their 80 carry pick, I think. We'll see if that's the case here. Let's get Talon, Jarvan here. So it looks like, I guess, a bot lane Heimerdinger with a support Malphite. And then we have Talon mid, Set top, Jarvan jungle. I think
That sounds right.
I think that's what it is. We don't even have an 80 carry, so I think it's Heimerdinger bot. Do we really know? I'm not sure, but that's certainly an 80 carry there. That's the Lucian. Should go bot lane with the Morgana, I think, for sure. So East High School, I'm a little bit more confident on the prediction here with the Yasuo mid lane, Volley Bear top. or actually volleyball jungler, excuse me, Renekton top, and then we get the AD carry and support duo there of the what's Lucian and Morgana
yes.
here. So Diamond High School still a couple question marks here, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Heimerdinger bot lane, which is kind of a callback to a season ago when we had that mage bot lane meta. And I think it'll be Malphite support, which incredible level 6. I mean, that'll be very, very scary to deal with. Malphite and the Heimerdinger level 6 is, if there's no Black Shield for Morgana, I mean, the Lucian's just gone.
Yeah, I think the Heimerdinger pick is so intriguing because, again, we talk about the flexibility, but such a difficult champion to work against as well. Heimerdinger being able to play to those strengths, working around all the different champions in the bot lane there, doing some dancing moves, and yeah, I'm interested to see how that one shakes out for Diamond High School.
Alrighty here, so we should be getting into the game momentarily, but before we go in here, we've got a jungle matchup, which is kind of a little bit different than what we saw earlier on. We see the Jarvan Volibear here. They actually have some interesting interactions because the Volibear has the ability to interrupt dashes, flag and drag with his E there. He can actually just shout and certainly stop people from dashing. I don't know how it's physically possible, but Volibear is just that loud, I guess. It works, somehow works. So Volibear will be able to interrupt some of the dashes from the Jarvan, which is big for interrupting the engages here. He can't stop the Malphite because he is unstoppable while he uses the ultimate. But a lot of the engage here from Diamond High School is stoppable by the Volibears with the Black Shield. So East High School have a lot of defensive tools to stop Diamond from getting in here. But that Malphite is really the big ability. The Unstoppable Force is just really tough to deal with here. Not a ton of knockup synergy for the Yasuo, but he does have that Volibear to get at least a few knockups. That could be big for the team fights.
Yes, and the interesting thing as well, talking about that Yasuo mid, it really depends on who his matchup is in the mid lane, right? There's so many question marks as to where Diamond High School is actually going to play all of their champions. But Yasuo, similar to Zed actually in the last game, where when he is played effectively, he can absolutely dominate and take over a game using those technical mechanical skills.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I think it's going to be Yasuo versus the Talon there in the mid lane. So it should be a pretty volatile lane. We'll see momentarily as we load in here. So it will be Talon versus Yasuo. That's going to be there's going to be a lot of fighting going on there, yes. I would assume. And the top side, same thing, Set versus Renekton. We talk about, range champions being pretty good into Set. Renekton, one of those melee champions, but he puts out so much damage that maybe he can just knock Set down before he can really do much of anything. We'll see how that matchup goes, but it looks like all the lanes shaping up to have a lot of action. Bot lane the least maybe, but certainly that shouldn't be, completely a pacifist setup there.
Which is so odd, right? Because especially with the way that the meta has been going recently, you would think the action would all be around that bot side trying to work around those Drakes, but yeah, I agree. Just very volatile matchup across the whole set, but nobody really looking for a jungle invade early. Couple of leashes coming out for both teams, and we're getting set and underway pretty shortly.
So it looks like bot side start for both junglers here, and Jarvan, Volibear going to be getting a leash from their bot lanes here. Both going for the machete here, as you would expect. At least out of champions, very auto attack focused in their clear early on. Some champions, they are more sort of ability focused in the way they clear, but those champions that are auto attack focused on their clear early on against the junk camps want to go for the machete because it gives you lifesteal against those camps, which basically gives you health back when you hit something with your auto attack. As Yasuo going to get a tornado early on. Keep your eyes on those tornadoes. When those come out from the Yasuo, when he gets level 6, he can use the last breath when people are knocked out, which holds them in place, deals a bit extra damage. So that's the big thing. If Yasuo finds knockups, or his enemies, rather not his enemies, but his teammates find knockups, that's when he can ult on top of those people here. So one of those interesting ultimates that sort of has conditions to be used.
Yes, well, again, hopefully with some of the support coming in, right, from the Volibear and from his jungler, he can get those knockups and land those ults as we see more fighting going on in the mid lane. We said it would be action heavy.
Well, Ignite for both these guys. It's going to be laid down, flash away, flash follow, first blood to Nemesis. Off to a great start in the mid lane here. Both summoner spells used for both mid laners, but unfortunately the Yasuo going to come out on top here. Diamond High School already on the back foot.
Yes, and a really nice engage there from the Yasuo. Just going in, knowing when to use his abilities, gets everything out there, manages to pick up the opening takedown.
Yeah, Talon, known sometimes as the first takedown king, always seems to get those, but not this time here as we get a 2v2 fight in the top side. Here comes the flag and drag in. The stun going to land on the Volibear, but the heal from the Volibear won't be quite enough. Unfortunate there. They're actually not able to help out, too much in that fight here. And so, while mid lane went pretty well for East Tide, Diamond High School strike back on the top side.
Yes, and I love the immediate answer from Dimond as well. Not trying to fall behind early, making sure to stay competitive through this whole game here. That 2v2 topside, here comes more.
Renekton. A lot of damage can be put down there thanks to the set. When he takes a lot of damage, he actually does more. So if you hit him, he hits even harder back. So you got to be careful with those long extended trades. You will build up the bar beneath his health there, which will indicate how much damage he's going to do on the way back. So you got to be careful of that. And Renekton, he's one of those bursty champions. He wants to get in and take a quick trade that's going to do a lot of damage here. So kind of a disadvantageous matchup. Yep, here another one coming in. Flag and Drag going to find the knockup underneath turret. Renekton going to find the stun here. Oh, just barely out of range, actually. The last turret shot won't come in. Renekton survives, but thankfully so too does the Jarvan.
As we said, just tons of action early, both in the mid lane and the top lane. Bot lane playing out fairly passively. A lot of poke going back and forth, but no clear victor early on.
All right, here we go. 4 minutes in, only 1-1 so far, but it feels like we've had a lot of action. This game much quicker than the last one, where we had a little bit of feeling each other out phase at the beginning here, and then things really started to take off. But they already know what's going on here. Dimond High School and East High already slugging it out, as the Yasuo found the winning fight on the first one, but definitely doesn't want to overstep and lose that advantage he just got a moment ago here. And the talent actually up significantly in CS there, so that's the good news in the mid lane here for Dimond High School. But still, that Yasuo can get very, very scary later on. We'll have to keep our eyes on him. The talent also can threaten that Lucian in the backside. And the Black Shield is only a magic damage shield, so if you do physical damage to a person with the Black Shield on them, it actually won't protect them at all. Besides the Aerie proc, which unfortunately Morgana doesn't even have. She's got Comet here, so there's really literally no way for Morgana to protect the Lucian from a physical damage, AD damage, besides, you know, just trying to use a Redemption or an Exhaust or a Binding to keep them literally off of her AD carry. So you're gonna have to keep your eyes on that talent in the set. It's gonna be you know, a little bit more of a threat now because there's really no flat shield to try and save the Lucian.
But I love the engage potential from them as well. If Morgana can land that Q, get that root, and try and hold, you know, this bot lane in place, it'll allow Lucian to really uncork some of that damage, and they might be able to win some fights early, but it depends on landing those skill shots.
Certainly does. Skill shots. If you can hit him constantly, it makes your champion so much more powerful. Is Binding going to land there, but now a fight around the Dragon here. Volibear has a health lead, but the Smite going to keep Jarvan alive here, but now the Dragon going to go over. The Heimerdinger secures it of all people. The Volibear falling for the second time. Couldn't Smite steal it, unfortunately, and their jungler gets bailed out there for Dimond High School by his teammates here. Set TP'd all the way down here. Good wind wall going to keep the Talon's daggers away from him. Nemesis will survive, but they lose the Dragon. East High definitely didn't want that one to happen. Volibear now fallen twice, having a rough start to this one.
Yes, and it's always the danger, right, of going with a champion that's not really currently in meta. There's a reason, right? And if you can't figure out how to get around the disadvantages of the current meta, it can be in for a very, very long night.
Certainly can here, as CS pretty even around the board. The only big advantage is the top side, where they're connected about 10 up on the set. Everywhere else pretty even, but those, you know, the 2-to-1 score line giving a slight advantage to Dimond High School, although the gold overall is even because of that advantage in the top side, as well as some other small CS advantages here. So East High actually even overall, but certainly haven't had exactly what they were hoping for on the map in terms of the plays with their jungler. Not the end of the world, though. They lose the Cloud Drake. Not great, but not terrible either here, as we get the Mountain coming in next. So we'll either have I believe, an Ocean Soul or an Infernal Soul, which can both be pretty good. Hopefully, I mean, we might not even get to that point. Who knows? The last game was relatively quick, but that will be our options for souls in the future.
Yeah, and I'm looking, again, as, you know, talking about map control and finding the objectives here. I know most teams don't necessarily go for it early, but look for that Rift Herald spawn coming in fairly soon here. I wonder if either team is going to try and make a play and take that early.
Yeah, just 30 seconds away on that Rift Herald spawn. And Volibear and Jarvan, you know, not the greatest at taking objectives. They don't have a lot of too much consistent damage. Jarvan has a decent amount, and so does Volibear, but not really fantastic. It's not what their strengths are as champions. But Rift Herald, because of the way the eye gives you extra damage on the back of the Rift Herald if you hit it, it does mean that they can take it relatively easily here, as we have another all-in the mid lane here. Ignite going down for both these guys. Yasuo looking for it. Flash forward, he misses his Q! Oh, the Steel Tempest doesn't land that time either here, as Volibear going to collect his red buff. Another big all in the mid lane, but this time Yasuo not able to finish it off.
And so unfortunate for the Yasuo. Really played it really well outside of the very last moment. Just needed that little bit of effort to land that last Q. Couldn't quite find it. Unfortunate for him, but I think he's still feeling pretty confident. I think he knows that next time he hits that and he wins that fight.
He won the one earlier on, so he's definitely got some confidence here, but would have definitely liked to have that last play back because he knew he could have finished that one off there. But Rift Herald spawn, neither jungler are going to make a play towards it just yet here, but could be big to open up the map because both sides are relatively bad at defending as well as sieging. So really the opening's going to come when they're fighting. It's not really going to come when we're just sitting here trying to hit turrets. Neither team is particularly good at that, so Rift Herald could be big to open up turrets when you normally aren't very good at taking them for either side.
Again, a little bit of a lull, as I say.
Yeah, Jarvan coming in for gank topside, and they're going to be thrown down here to bring back the Renekton. He's going to flash out, flag and drag Lancer for the Dominus, keeping him healthy for a moment. Now he can heal up, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He's still caught in that Cataclysm. Finally goes down, but too little too late. The Renekton falls here for the first time in the topside set with his second year. The flash in, binding culling comes through. Lucian and Morgana combined for that one. Brilliantly set up by the Morgana, and the Lucian comes through. Perfectly played. I mean, that's the synergy you expect from your bot lane. Well done.
Yes, absolutely tremendous job playing together. The Lucian simply picking up the kill right at the very end, but give credit to your supports. You know, they work hard. They try to set up those plays, and when it works out brilliantly like that. Makes the Lucian look very good.
And this is a much better Morgana than we've seen in the past, where they're just playing back, playing defensively, but this time also getting aggressive with the Dark Bindings here in a Malphite, who is a bit of a weaker laner early on here. Really wants it at level 6. I mean, he has it now, but didn't really get an opportunity to use that ultimate, which is such a powerful part of his kit. As the wave will be cleared by the Heimerdinger here, but another binding in the land, so some more damage going to be put down there with the Tormented Soil as well. Malphite now is ultimate, like we said here, but no Ignite, just an Exhaust for the support here, for actually both supports, which is kind of interesting, because usually Ignite is the summer spell you take on supports nowadays, unless there's some very specific bot lane matchup you're going for. Sometimes they'll take TP and heal as opposed to TP or excuse me, heal and Ignite.
Well, it comes with the engage meta as well, right? When you're a support character, you're trying to get those all-ins, get those trades to come out. You want to have that Ignite, that extra little bit of burn right at the very end to finish off the opposition.
So both sides playing a little bit more defensive with that Exhaust early on. Also going to be really good later on in the game. Exhaust scales pretty well into the late game, whereas Ignite just flat damage. It scales with level, but it's really not that great later on unless you need that Grievous Wounds. But Exhaust, so good in the late game for denying an enemy carry damage or an assassin from getting onto your backline and taking down your AD carry. So Exhaust, very, very useful in the later stage of the game. Completely shut down a Yasuo in a team fight or something like that. Here, a great wind wall going to be used for the Yasuo, trying to get escape there. The Ignite used. Oh my goodness, maybe he can do it. No, he can't quite pull off the last breath play. Was close, but the shield not big enough. Here's the Volibear now going to be chased. He's going to be knocked up by the Malphite. Good stopwatch to save the Jarvan here, and eventually another takedown will go down onto the jungle here. And now looks like Tricky Zac will fall as well. And the Talon going to grab that one, his first of the game here. So a big play in the river going to open things up here for Dimond High School. A really nice play. They're just kind of right place, right time.
Yeah, and actually it's interesting that you say that because I think the opposite could be said of East High. Just going in one after the other, never really working together. Everyone trying to get there at the same time, but just staggering where really each player was at a disadvantage.
Your Dominus still on the Renekton. He's been good at dodging out on the return damage from the set. The Renekton doing a decent job there, but because of the way things have happened around the ganks and the interference from the rest of the team, the Renekton hasn't been able to do too well in this lane. As you can see, he 2-0 set, 0-1 Renekton kind of speaks to that. And Dimond High School looks so good in game number 2 here. East High, by no means out of it. The good news is that they have 2 takedowns, and they're both onto the important people, Yasuo and Lucian. They're 2 big carries. So that's the good news. The bad news is they're a little bit behind here, about 2K gold. Not massive, but certainly pretty meaningful at just 12 minutes. It is a decently large lead here. But if Lucian can scale up, he's getting on that Essence Reaver pretty quick here. Hey, maybe he can be a big proponent of these team fights and just win the fight for them with some amazing plays, especially with the way him and Morgana have played in this laning phase. I definitely have faith in them here. And the Yasuo has done pretty well, especially in that 1v1 early on. Maybe he can replicate that magic in team fights as well.
Yeah, so much of this game will come down to when eventually these two teams start grouping together and engaging as a group. So far, we really haven't seen it outside of the most recent fight in the bottom river there. It's been mostly individual matchups, one-on-ones, 2v1s with gank action as we jump back at it top lane.
I was just saying hi. Yasuo just walked up to the top lane to say hi to everyone. As Talon followed him there. And we've got a while to go before another neutral objective spawns. Several minutes before both the Rift Herald and the Dragon come back up. But speaking of Rift Herald, it's here in the mid lane, gonna get summoned by the Jarvan. Plating still available here for another 30 seconds, and the Jarvan will get 240 gold off that charge thanks to the plating destruction. There, Shelly gonna grab some gold over for the Jarvan on the mid lane turret. Getting that knockdown as early as possible is great. Gives you a lot of map control. Taking down that mid lane turret here. Talon coming in for a play as Haymaker into the follow-up from the Talon. Another one where the Renekton is just outnumbered. What can he do?
Not much in that spot. The Talent just simply coming up right from the mid lane. Absolutely no chance for Renekton there. A really tough spot for him, and it looks like they might even get the tower here as well.
The waves can dissipate before they get the last hit on it, but they do get all the platings besides the last one, which they would get knocking down the tower. So that's the good news. They got basically maximum amount of gold they could off that top lane turret, which is really amazing. As Nemesis going to use another good wind wall to stop a lot of the damage there from the Talon. As now here comes a 2v2 Ace, but now that's going to be a 2v3 with a TP coming in here from the set. Actually, no, the Heimerdinger went up top side, excuse me. Now Malphite's left alone on the bottom side here. Ace can interrupt set here in a weird blast cone interaction. Ace, well, it's a 4v1. I don't think he's going to survive.
I did not fancy Volibear's chances there.
Oh, the Ignite comes down. Oh, doesn't quite get it. Nemesis looking for a cheeky takedown there with the Ignite out of the brush, but couldn't quite find the damage he needed. He needs just one Q to find that one once again.
That would have been so smart to use the Ignite there. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so doesn't quite get it. Cheeky play, but not able to finish off here. Bot lane turret, though, might go down to Lucian Morgana. It looks like they actually won't be able to, although there is an opening. They're not going to stick around here and even try to damage the turret. Afraid of the Malphite, who's all alone down here, but Heimerdinger coming back out, and Lucian just wants to back. Maybe complete that item here. Get that Essence Reaver early on would be quite nice.
Well, and you have to go back and spend the gold as well. When you do have a gold disadvantage, you want to try and make sure you're spending it as efficiently as you possibly can. Recall perhaps dictated by, as you mentioned, your item purchases.
Yeah, going to get the Essence Reaver and the Berserker Greaves, so definitely waiting for that item spike here. Doesn't want to stick around too long, wait for the Heimerdinger to get back, and never get his chance to back and purchase his items and be at a disadvantage there. So smart play, doesn't get the potential to take down the turret or do damage there. As a knockup going to come through in the last breath as well here. Nemesis looking for the all-in. Now Talon dashing back in. I don't know if that was the right call though, but once again, Yasuo missing that Q is huge. He's still going to find it though. And here comes Jarvan, interrupts the flag and drag, beautifully played here by Nemesis. The black shield going to come through as well, and Nemesis with a clean solo.
That is really nice, and especially...
Hold on. Oh, here comes the Heimerdinger, finding a lot of damage. We're going to have to flash out in the river here. Ace caught as well. Knocked up. Here comes the Malphite as well, going to give some support. Now Volibear trying to scream his way out of there with some lightning as well. And here comes the follow-up on the bottom side here. Heimerdinger sitting on the Tormented Soil will be shut down by the Morgana here. As the culling going to come out from the Lucian, dashing away Relentless Pursuit. He will survive here, so 2 for 1. Not the greatest thing in the world, but they do find the Heimerdinger with a shutdown.
And you do get a little bit of extra gold from that shutdown as well, so there is something to take away from that. But again, Dimond High School, give them some credit here. Just really taking their chances and picking up the takedowns when they have their opportunities.
Here we go, on to the Ocean Dragon, third dragon of the game. It's the terrain we have now. First time we've had the Ocean Dragon with the extra brush around. No Rengar this time to benefit from that, but there will be a lot less ways to, face check because there's going to be a lot more brush obscuring your vision. So getting on these objectives, walking through the jungle is a bit more dangerous than it normally would be. So gotta stay on your toes with that here. But Dimond High School, after losing game 1, off to a great start here. And their gold, 3,000 still now. It was 2,000 a couple minutes ago, but continually growing that lead. That's a really good sign for them. Not sitting back and just waiting here. They're continuing to press forward. The Yasuo doing well, but the rest of the team, Freeze, Tai, struggling. But like I said, the East High, the 2 carries are the ones doing quite well. It's Yasuo mainly, but also Lucian, who's played a bit of a slower game, but really has done a good job in the lane so far. So maybe East High can rely on them, but right now they're losing the top side map in this Rift Herald.
Yes, and I think the other struggle for East High as well in this game is Volibear has not really proven effective. Currently 0-5-0, that's not the stat line you want to be sitting on. I think if they can get some impact out of Volibear, they can turn this around, but it's got to come quick.
Well, after we saw, hold on, not going to come through. Unstoppable Force, and the Yasuo trying to make play out of this one, but not able to. That ultimate's so powerful, just completely shuts him down. Big dive, there's a TP, going to be coming in to cut off the last Noblesse and tricky Zac here as a flash away But a flash follow for Percute. Can Lucian get out? No, he cannot. The Haymaker going to find it. In the end, Ace trying to run around all across the map here as big damage command on the set. Using the shield to survive the turret damage. Beautifully played there by the set here. As the Volleybear's just running up mid lane, the completely wrong direction of the map. But he's trying to run out here. 3 members chasing it. Talon parkouring over the wall. Trying to give chase with the Assassin's Path, but not able to quite find him. But here comes the Flag Drag into Cataclysm here. Ace is trying to strike back, and he will get the shutdown onto the Jarvan. Massive play, but it's still a 1-for-1.
It is only a 1-for-1, but given that, again, Volibear finds himself in a spot where there are 3 champions trying to track him down, getting at least a trade is a great start.
Definitely big, and the Volleybear was 0-5 up to that point, so.
Exactly. Some confidence as well, dude.
Confidence, the
Get
mental's
board.
back there, and obviously the gold not bad either. Unfortunately, he reset his gold value before he went down, so it actually was more, like, it was essentially 300 gold as opposed to being like 100 or whatever it would be when you're 0-5. So not like the most optimal way you could do it, but still 600 for 300, that's more gold, and it's a 1v3, so well done by the Volleybear for sure. Ace doing a wonderful job in a 1v3 situation. East High having a rough time in the second game, but I mean, we know what they can do after game 1. Very strong team here. Maybe they can battle back after being behind in this situation here, as down about 5,000 gold at the moment. But again, their carry's still very strong. Lucian and the Yasuo is still very strong here. And if Volleybear can just get in, get one knock up onto a key target, that can be all he's needed for here.
And again, that's why I think it'll be so interesting once these teams really start to group up as 4-man, 5-man units. The Volibear at least will have some level of impact there as another engagement bot side.
Well, Flag and Drag over the wall. They find Tricky Zach. The Zoni is going to save him the stopwatch for now, but already his Lucian, his AD carry gone. Tricky Zach not going to last long either.
No, and just too much pressure on the bot side there. Effectively a 2v4 once the support comes through the lane itself. Not a spot you want to find yourself in. They both go down.
Well, this is definitely an interesting situation, kind of juxtaposed against game 1 where East High was in this position here. And we know how that ended here, so maybe we're going to get to a second game 3 today. As Breakcube, massive damage onto the Volleybear here, but the healing coming through. The Volleybear still alive here as Nemesis going forward, looking for a big play here, but now the Talon comes in and that's it. Well, it was fun while it lasted.
There was an idea, right? There's a spark as here they go onto the Renekton as well.
Flash over the wall, actually gets him out for now, but now going to get cut off by the Malphite. The slow going to come through with the Seismic Shard here. Dominus buys a few moments, but not enough to stay alive here. Hold on, maybe the Talon too far forward. Flash is out, so definitely went too far forward, but will not pay for it that time.
I think he was certainly trying to get an extra takedown on that Morgana there, seeing her stepping out, but Lucian waiting right behind the wall there, coming out with that damage. You do not want to be near it when he's pointing at you.
Yeah, a bit greedy there, but hey, just a flash down. Doesn't give her the shutdown, which is the huge thing there. He's got about 800 gold on his head, so important he does not fall. Same thing with the set, 450 plus that 300, so 750 gold on him. Very important he doesn't fall either.
Yes, those bounties can certainly swing the game in either direction. It's such an advantage when you get all of that gold income and taking a player who has been doing well right back out of the game.
Yeah, 8.7 thousand ahead right now is Dimond High School, the biggest lead we have this series, and another face check into the wrong place, and Morgana is not there anymore.
No, not in that one. Morgana is just simply not going to have the damage output to really contest this. Dimond High School, a free Drake.
So an Ocean Dragon, and well, a free Drake, free Soul, going to come up here for them. Dimond High School now going to grab that Ocean Soul, going to give them a lot of health regen here. Good news is East High isn't like relying on poke damage, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but Ocean Drake is still good at healing at all times in the game here, so just all damage will be mitigated that much more here. So Ocean Soul, very powerful. I think one of the second best or third best souls. I would say second best in my, and then Infernal first would be my ranking of the souls. But certainly Ocean Dragon, not bad at all, not too shabby.
I can get behind that ranking.
Yeah.
I think I like that.
I would say Ocean or Mountain is, second or third, that's the debate to me. But Infernal, I think, one for sure, and then Cloud last. That'd be my rankings here. As the Talon goes, oh, it's a big dive. Massive damage. The Cataclysm finds 4 members. Now 3 left alive here. Just being deleted one by one, but right now, there's taking so much damage from the turret, it actually might be possible for East High to win. Never mind.
Oh,
Quadra here for
Yeah.
PlayQ. Coming back in this one. A massive dive here from Dimond High School. It looked like East High, with the help of the turret, might be able to recover in that fight, but that thought was short-lived.
yeah, such a beautiful quadra kill. One of the first that we've seen here. Really, really nice from Dimond High School. I don't think they'll be able to end here, but they might be able to get this inhibitor, and they can really start applying the pressure.
Should be the inhibitor here. No Penta, but we get the Quadra. And an inhibitor down as well here. Baron up. Elder in about 4.5 minutes here, so it should all be about the Baron in the coming minutes. And, well, I think, again, just kind of a complete mirror of Game 1, just flipped, where it's Dimond High School the ones taking it to East High.
Yeah, so look at that goal advantage as well. Just getting to about 10,500 difference. Scoreboard saying 23-7. It could get ugly for East High, but yeah, what a response from Dimond High School in Game 2 overall. Just really playing well, finding their leads, and they're capitalizing on it.
Well, Nemesis does have the Infinity Edge and the Phantom Dancer combo, so he can dish out some crazy damage here. And with the help of the Volibear and Renekton can buy a lot of time for him in the front line. Maybe there's a team fight where Nemesis goes nuts and is able to do something crazy. I say maybe because it seems unlikely, but you never know with a Yasuo. Once he gets those first 2 items, it's just like the damage is there. Maybe everything comes together in the next fight here. East High, there was a glimmer of hope for them in the last fight, and then it just kind of got snuffed out once PlayQ came in and just smacked everyone in the face. We'll see if he can do that again, or if maybe Nemesis, the next fight is his, or maybe even the last Noblesse. I don't know who it'll be, but East High need a hero to come back.
Looking for one of those infamous Yasuo power spikes, yes?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not quite the infamous Yasuo power spike. The infamous Yasuo power spike is typically the 0-10 Yasuo power spike. So this is like the next best Yasuo power spike where you get Infinity Edge plus a zeal item. The 0-10 Yasuo power spike, there are a few things that can beat that. As we get on to the Baron here, maybe a hero still, maybe that's the hero. Maybe Ace is going to come up big here. He's got Flash, he's got Smite. Can he do it? He's down 2 levels, he's not going to even try. Can't get into the pit here. As now Kyle Durant going forward here, catches him on the Tricky Zack and Ace, and now here comes the Talon, already one gone the fort. Now Ace trying to run away. Grievous Wounds on him as he's healing, not able to survive. Windwall won't save him there. Double for the Talon, and Baron over to Dimond High School.
I just think it's a little bit of indecision from the Volibear there. You either have to try and make that play or not. It's hard to stick around the Baron pit as right after they take it. Both members go down there. It's just getting a little bit out of hand here, I think, for East High.
Well, Dimond High School now looking for their second inhibitor of the game. And nope, they're going to go for the fight here. Already 3 members knocked up, and make that 3 members knocked down as Tricky Zack comes in to reinforce, and he's gone. All right, basically an ace here. The Volibear, only one left alive here. It looks like Dimond have found the end here. Next tower 1 goes down, next tower 2. The clean ace at the end of the game. And that'll be it here. Nexus under fire. Dimond High School is going to take this to a game 3.
Wow, I love the response, and just immediately going in to end the game as well. No hesitation whatsoever. They picked up Baron. They got 2 picks. They went straight through the mid lane and just opened it right up.
An impressive response, too, after it looked like East High was just the better team mechanically, and they rotated better, and then Dimond High School said, heck no. That's not it at all. We're just as good as these guys. Come back firing here and just pedal to the middle the entire time. It was a little slow at the beginning here. We saw the play in the mid lane, the top lane, but then things quieted down, and all of a sudden it was like go, go, go from there. Dimond High School never looked back after that. And even bigger lead at the end of the game there, even more dominant than East High was in game number 1. So, I thought it was going to be a 2-0. I thought East High would take it, but after that game, I have no idea.
Right, and it's just crazy because both games feel so lopsided to each way, right? So looking towards a game 3, it really is difficult to say, are we going to get the best version of Dimond High School or are we going to get the best version of East High School? Really difficult to say. I don't want to call it.
Definitely early game is the name of the game here for sure. You got to be very aggressive early. Draft towards the early game because that has been what's worked for both sides. I think that's the goal for sure here. But we'll be coming up, seeing that in game number 3. Another draft phase, another game to go through here. Another game 3. We haven't had a game 3 until today, and now we get 2 of them.
I'm just happy. It must be me because when I'm on the desk for these games, it goes to game 3. So if we want to see more game 3s, just keep bringing me back on.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get more League of Legends with you, some more game 3s. But we're going to take a short break, and we'll come back in a couple minutes ready for Game 3. So don't go anywhere. We got more League of Legends here and trying to still crown our champion.
East High School and Dimond High School are in the middle of an intense series, tied up 1-1. Who's going to take the championship home for PlayVS Fall 2019 championships? Who knows? But to tell you a little bit more about that, let's go back to our casters, Perino and Coas.
Back. One more game to go here. It's been a long night, but we've got just one more game at League of Legends for you here to decide who's going to be our champion. Right now, the series 1-1. I mean, it's been back and forth the whole series. Both teams taking a game. What are your thoughts on Game 3?
Oh, I couldn't even begin to tell you. Both games have been so one-sided. We saw East High School come out in game number 1, absolutely tear Dimond apart. Then in game number 2, Dimond coming right back and taking it straight back to East High School. It really could go either way. Honestly, what I'm expecting is because both games were so dominant in one way, in game number 3, it's going to be even right to the very end. We're going to get a slugfest.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to crown a winner at the end of this one. Well, for sure we will. How long it'll take, we don't know. But, I mean, it's been a great series so far. Want to go out, end this night with a bang here. East High School, they look great in Game 1, but then kind of puttered out in Game 2. I wonder if they can recover from that because we have seen a reverse sweep. We saw that earlier today in the Alabama match. We'll see if that that trend continues here. But for them, it's the same thing. It was like Game 1, fantastic there, and they kind of like Game 2, not so much, and then Game 3 again, not really anything going here. So we got to see if they can like reset here because that is so crucial in these best 3 series to keep that mental all the way through.
And one of the key deciding factors I think was actually even before Game 2 even started in the draft. You'll notice that Dimond High School banned that Warwick pick, right? And so when the jungle was forced into that Volibear, it really wasn't that effective early on. Volley didn't have too much impact across the map, and that jungle position, it is so important these days to have impact across all of your lanes. Volley wasn't able to quite get it done. I think they'll move away from that in this game, and that should drastically affect how this game plays out.
That Warwick ban was super crucial. The Volibear started at 0-2, then 0-5 eventually. Got one back before he went down for a 6th time, but when you have an 0-5 jungler to start things off, generally that's not a good sign, especially with the way the game is being played now with the jungler being so gank heavy, trying to get things going. Not a great sign when he starts at 0-5. So hopefully there'll be the right ship there, but I mean, I think Warwick ban again in Game 3, you'd bet.
Oh, it certainly will be coming again. I just don't know if going back to volleys is the right move. It'll have to be something else, but the good news with the jungle is that there are a lot of different choices. There are so many different styles of champions that you can play in the jungle. So many different ways of going about that, so plenty of choices to be made.
Certainly. We've seen a lot of different junglers today. We've seen the Echo. We've seen the Jarvan in that last game that was really good against the Volibear here. We saw the Warwick, but we've also looked at the Rek'Sai, the Olaf. There's tons of junglers he can go to, but again, sometimes you want to get on that comfort pit like we talked to, where it's just like, that's a thing that we want to get on. We don't want to get on a champion just good right now. We want to get a champion that we are good on, and that'll be the key here. So trying to get the Volibear, which maybe he had a bit more expertise on, but it didn't really pan out. So with the Warwick's almost certainly being banned away, I think he's maybe got to look to another champion because that Volibear didn't really pan out too well. So we'll see what they go to, but I'm getting, again, jungle going to have to be a big focus. Like after game number 1, we got to figure out what's going to be in the jungle there because that decided so much of the tempo early on.
It certainly does, and when you have a jungler that can come across and effectively take down other champions in your lead, it is such a confidence boost because you get those 2v1 situations, you can go for the all-ins, you can get the takedowns, and you can build the lead early. We talk about it so often in this meta, how important it is to get rolling early and try and get games to end by the 25, 30-minute mark. Having those ganks, so crucial. I think it will be the impact factor in this upcoming Game 3.
Well, then we saw on the top side as well the set picked, which we don't get to see too often. It's a new champion, very powerful in the right situation. But that's the key, the right situation. That time they found the right situation. They found a Renekton matchup, which went super well. Another Renekton was super bad in lane, but because of the jungle support and the set's power level against melee champions, he's fared so well in that lane. And then eventually in the team fight, at the end of the game, he found a Quadra, which at that point was just all but over.
Yes, and so much damage coming out from Seth there at the end. Quadra kill being a huge piece of it and really the last piece of the puzzle to finish that game. So many different choices. I wonder if they will go back to a Zed top. It did work for them in game number 1. it's intriguing, but I don't know if they will fall for it twice.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, we could see a different matchup for the Zed in the top side, or maybe they'll ban it away. I mean, two good bans to me seem like the Warwick and the Zed. Both those champions have been very good, and for East High, I think you just get rid of them again here. It only allows you one extra ban to deal with something else, but to me, I wouldn't chance it in Game 3. Just get rid of those champions. Don't even give them the option of playing them and you know, opening up like they did in Game number 1, which at that point, once they had the Zed and Warwick that fed, it was just, well, how do we even fight them anymore?
Yes, precisely. And even the Jinx on the 80 carry as well, again, going back to the draft before Game 2, was one of the bans that came out because the Jinx was so effective. I do think you may even want to continue to do that simply because forcing an 80 carry to switch off to a different champion, again, the comfort level, right, of Game 3. You have so many people watching, so much pressure. State title is on the line. Trying to get people out of their comfort zone is huge.
Certainly is. Here we're going to get into draft here. East High School going to be on the left side of your screen here. Oh, actually, that way. Mirrored here. East High School on that side of your screen, the left side. They're going to get the first pick here, so that could be a big advantage for them to secure something here. Dimond High School going to be on the right side. So that'll be good for them to try and maybe counter what East High School are doing here. Maybe get a counter pick, a lane matchup there they want here as we get Vladimir and Karma banned away here. So we'll see if Dimond High School go with that Zed Warwick ban, which we talked about maybe being the best option for them. We'll see if they agree with us here. As Set now going to be on the bench as East High School doesn't want to face that guy again.
Yes, and that's a very smart decision there. Certainly a target ban on Set. Had a really tremendous amount of impact in the previous game, will not be a factor in Game 3.
And the Warwick gone as well here, so we'll see if Dimond do round out that last one with the Zed. I mean, that would be my decision here, but maybe Dimond have a matchup they're wanting to play into it here as we get, I don't see, oh, the Heimerdinger, okay.
Yes.
I was like, I'm not used to seeing him so much that I didn't even know what the icon was for a second there. I was like, what is that? Oh my god, it's the Heimerdinger. We saw it earlier on, was pretty effective here, so East High School didn't get rid of it. But that's how little I've seen Heimerdinger the last couple of months. Like, wait, what is that champion? As we get Silas actually banned away for Dimond. So the Zed's open. Maybe go for it. I mean, it's a bit of a risk, but it looks like gonna be Malphite. Okay.
Yes, Malphite with the opening pick here. I don't know if I would go with the opening pick on Malphite, but again, we're talking about comfort level. You want to make sure you're playing your best champions. 2 more picks coming in for Dimond, though.
Well, they get the Mundo that they've been wanting all series. Been banned twice here by East High School. But the Yasuo's here. They've got the Malphite. I mean, I would pull the trigger on the Yasuo. They played it last game. Why not go again? But a Vayne? I'm not sure what's going on here, but we're going to get a Vayne here. Maybe a very aggressive look from East High School in game number 3 here, because they're coming with some interesting picks. The Swain going to join it. Not sure this composition. It feels like a very sort of like Death Ball-y composition, but not picking up the Yasuo seems a little strange to me when you've already got that Malphite.
Yes, and just because they work so well together, it's possible that the person who wants to play Malphite is just really strong on Malphite individually, and they might not have a technical Yasuo player to back it up. Again, Yasuo is a very difficult champion to play.
Well, they had Nemesis on last game. That's why I was thinking that, well, they have Nemesis who could play it, so why not grab it for him? Thresh and now Xayah banned. So East High School going to attack the 80 carry pool, supports for Dimond. Both these sides have, picks that they want in bot side. Right now, Dimond High School have a very, very tanky composition. Look at that. They've got Ornn, Mundo, and Shen. I mean, that's just a lot of health to get through. So the Vayne makes a lot of sense because she has that percent health, true percent health damage. So that's big for her. But even the Vayne can't always get through these tanks in a short amount of time here. As I said, will be banned on the second rotation by Dimond High School. So East High School, they still have the option of the Yasuo if they want to go for it.
Yes, well, again, Dimond will get the first pick, and they do decide to go with Lucian as the 80 carry again. Aphelios and Xayah being taken away from that spot there, so they do decide to go Lucian.
All right, here we get the Nautilus into the Kayn. We've seen one Kayn prior here, but it's still a unique pick in the jungle. Very Death Ball-like composition here for East High School. They're going to dive in and do a lot of damage. Both these teams want to sit there and basically beat on each other the entire time. We'll see if Sarah Chian wants to go for a support pick. Going to get the Shen. So it looks like I think that the Lucian will be laning with the Shen as the support, and we don't know what the mid laner is here for Dimond High School. The Mundo and Ornn going to be in the top side. I'd assume the Ornn will be top lane, and then we're going to get the jungle Mundo, especially with that Cinderhulk can scale up really well.
It seems to be that way, but we will find out no matter what. Game number 3, everything on the line, starting up.
Fizz. You don't see a Fizz very often either. This is a treat tonight. We get the Fizz in the mid lane here up against a Swain. Fizz, an assassin champion, an AP assassin champion that has a lot of mobility, and he's also got the ability to throw out a shark there. If it lands on someone, it'll tether to them and knock them up in a few seconds here, and anyone around them as well. So Fizz is one of those interesting champions where he has a lot of mobility, a lot of powerful abilities, but he just hasn't been very viable for a long time.
It does seem like a strange play coming out in the mid lane there, but I'm such a huge fan of it. Again, we've seen some of these off-meta picks. They can really work if you don't know how to play against it, right?
Yeah, and the Fizz as well, good matchup in the mid lane. Swain can't really punish him too hard. Not one of the mages who can damage him a lot early on, not like a Cassiopeia or a Syndra or anything that can really harass him early on. So that's actually a pretty good matchup for the Fizz overall. Obviously, the Zonians will come in for the Swain probably on a second item, which will definitely, mess up the Fizz a little bit here because the Fizz ultimate can be essentially entirely denied by the Zonias. But I think that early on, the matchup is pretty good for Fizz in the mid lane.
Well, we'll have to see how that matchup plays out. Looks like a little bit of a skirmish developing on the top side here with Malphite and Ornn.
Yep. Small trades back and forth. The tank's just going to be wet noodles up there, just slapping each other back and forth. Nothing really happening, but a level 2 power spike here in the bot lane. Root going to be found. Dredge line found as well. On the AD carry. Well done there by Tricky Zach. Not going to be anything, though, major. The Vayne wasn't there to follow up there. Sarah Cheon did a good job trying to box up for AD carry. And no engage going to come through as jungler is just trading farm. And now they're gone for a gank. Mundo already back after taking the full top side here. Now comes back with the 2 basic jungle items.
We didn't really mention it before the start of this game, but I really like the Nautilus support pick here. Having that dredge line, getting that engage onto those AD carries in the bot lane. Such a nice, strong champion in this meta.
Yeah, pure Vayne as well. We've seen her once or twice in the past, but she's incredibly strong, but incredibly difficult to play. If you can get into the back line here, dash forward, and, just take the fight to them, right? And just, continually auto. You're a very aggressive champion, but you're very low range and very high risk. So if you tumble into the enemy back line, tumble forward here, you can get blown up, or you can make some big plays happen. There's not really a lot of in-between with the Vayne, so gonna keep our eyes on her for sure in team fights, because as soon as she goes down, there's not a ton of other damage for East High. The Swain and Kayn maybe can do a little bit, but they certainly need the Vayne to get through all the health on the side of Dimond. They have very tanky champions.
And we're watching this fight develop in the top side here. Ornn going in.
With a level disadvantage, but a mana advantage here, and actually takes a better trade onto the Malphite. Malphite's interesting as a tank because he's completely geared towards denying 80 damage. That's basically his entire kit is against champions that want to hit him with physical damage. But Ornn is, well, he does have some physical damage in his kit, he's a lot of magic damage as well. So when they trade tank v tank, the Ornn can actually, especially in the early game before any items really come in to make that Malphite pretty tanky, the Ornn can actually do a lot of damage and be very tough to trade against for the Malphite.
We'll have to see how that lane plays out. Again, looks like potentially trying to set up some vision in the river here for both teams. That Drake coming up very soon. Both teams trying to secure an advantageous position, work towards getting that first Drake.
Indeed, the first Drake will be the Infernal, and talking about how good a soul it is. Individually, a decent dragon, but not the greatest in the world to start things off. Ocean, usually the best first Drake you can get here, as Fizz is going to take a bit of a trade in the mid lane there. Has not gone back just yet, but again, coming through from Ace in the mid lane won't really amount to much. The Fizz going to take a little bit of damage, but really the Kayn just happy to get some damage off, so that way he can get closer to his transform. We'll almost certainly be doing red Kayn this game as well, based on the enemy team. There's only one ranged champion. Actually stacking the blue form is incredibly difficult, so he's probably going to go Rost form, which is a more melee-focused champion form, which allows him to have a knock-up on his W, also gives him a lot of sustains. It will heal a lot off his abilities. So picking up Grievous Wounds would be great for the enemy team, but in those long extended fights, the Rost form of Kayn can heal like basically 2 or 3 times his health bar. So he can basically heal from full, or from basically down from nothing to full, like several times. His, just one rotation of his kit basically heals him for, like, assuming you have Ravenous Hunter as well, like 50 to 75% of his health. It's kind of insane how much he can heal in that form.
And again, with all that healing advantage as well, imagine. Oh,
Fizz going to go fishing, finds that first ultimate. Here comes the gank from the Mundo as well. Swain trying to heal up, but the Grievous Wounds on him with the Ignite, and now the first blood over to the Fizz. Puts the Shark out, finds it. Great start there for the Fizz in the mid lane with help from his jungler.
We said these off-meta picks can be so advantageous. Fizz jumping out to the early lead in favor of Dimond High School here. You just love to see it.
Great start there for the Fizz. And the Swain will come back with a Catalyst, which will give him a lot of sustain health and mana-wise, but that's going to be a tough matchup now that Fizz has one under his belt. He's going to come back with a Hextech Revolver here and have a lot of damage in the near future, even a Kindle Gem as well. So he's very, very strong at this point. Looking for that Proto Belt, that's usually the first item, and then Lich Bane is usually a second item on Fizz. May see a bit of a deviance in the second item because of a situational thing. If he wants to go for the Grievous Wounds to deal with the enemy team, because Swain and the Rost form of Kayn will have so much healing. But usually you want to get that Lich Bane for the damage. That's generally the best thing that can synergize with his kit. We'll see if that's what he goes for in the coming moments, but usually Proto Boot into Lich Bane as well as the Pen Boots. The magic Pen Boots for the Fizz here, as we still have that Dragon up, and Rifto are going to spawn in about 45 seconds here, so neutral objectives will become plentiful in the coming moments.
Yes, they most certainly will. You can see already, too, if you look at our minimap on the bottom right here, all the vision presence there in the river, trying to establish some sort of sight line, try and figure out where each team is going.
Yeah, East High have done a great job of setting up 2 control wards in the river already, one by the mid lane and one by the Pixel Brush, which is what it's usually called there in the river, the small sort of bit of grass near the dragon there to just the left of it here, as we have a slight DC from the Mundo, but he's already back, so should be getting the game in just a second here. Kyle Durant had to go for a quick break. He's back, though, and we should be unpausing in just a moment here. But that Mundo, speaking of him, he's going to be super tanky later on here. Mundo, one of the best champions when he itemized towards MR, because that means he gets to buy that Spear Visage. And if you look at the enemy team, there's basically only one 80 source, and that's Vayne. And Vayne's kind of funny because she does 80 damage, but most of her damage is like true damage anyway, and max health through damage. So what's the point of building armor against her anyway? As we get a gank at the top side, Break Q gonna get slowed up here as well. And with a Bell's Breath, buys him a little bit of time, some damage back, but another play in the top side results in a takedown there, and it's gonna go over to the side of the Kayn. That'll get him more towards his form and gets him some gold. Nice start for the Kayn, but may lose the Dragon as a result of that gank.
Yes, it's an interesting trade there, trying to get level on the scoreboard, but you are going to lose the Drake as the Mundo slays the Dragon. It will be the Infernal going in the favor of Dimond.
Nice pickup there here for sure. We've talked about earlier today how Jin and Vagar use the Infernal Drake so well. Not the case here as we get engaged in the bot side. Dredge line going to find the Shen, but he's going to back off. No big deal there. But, some of these champions, they use Infernal so well. It's like one of the most valuable Drakes they can get. But here, you only have 2 people using it. You've got your mid laner and your AD carry, and they don't use it even like the best in the game. They're kind of mediocre at it. So the Infernal Dragon, while nice, certainly, it's really not like the best thing they could have gotten. It's not that impactful overall as a single Drake, because they're maybe going to get like 20 AD off it, or 15, 30 AP. It's really not going to be the biggest thing, as opposed to when all 5 members are using it and when all 5 members are using it well. So kind of unfortunate that because of that. But, hey, you'll take extra AD when you can get it.
I was just about to say that you will take the extra AD no matter what, as we're seeing a pretty long-lasting fight here between Malphite and Ornn. Ornn going to be establishing some really nice pressure on the tower.
Yep. And Malphite's actually down by 25 CS here, so that's a big lead in the top side. The Ornn had fallen to the gank, but is still doing really well in that 1v1 matchup overall. The other lane's pretty even here, slight CS advantages here and there, but nothing major, less than a wave everywhere else. So the top lane and the jungle in favor of Dimond, but the other 2 lanes doing okay around the map here. East High down about 1,000 gold. Not the end of the world though, and their Vayne, could be so impactful in the future, especially if we get to the later stages of the game when she becomes more impactful than the Lucian. Vayne always has that potential to be, when she has the items anyway, to be a just game-changing champion with some massive outplays. Some of the most memorable moments in League of Legends history have certainly come from people playing this Vayne pick. She's one of the oldest champions in League, and also one of the most fondly remembered, although there have been some embarrassing moments on her as well.
I would hope for the sake of the players here that they find a memorable moment on Vayne and not a
Certainly.
regretful one.
Yeah, the Vayne pick, very polarizing because it can go so poorly, but it's always that potential, that thing like, oh my god, what if everything goes right, lines up, then she can just take over a game and win it for you here as the Kane and the Mundo bot side looking for something there. It doesn't seem like either side will opt for a gank here, although the Kane's still sticking around as we get a fight in the mid lane. Fizz has found the ultimate on Swain once again, but the Swain trying to heal off him. A lot of damage coming back. The Ignite has not been put down. A flash away from the Fizz, in fact. So Nemesis wins that trade here. No Ignite means that the Swain was healing up a lot. You got to put down that Ignite to get that grievous wounds earlier on.
Yes, and it's an unfortunate cooldown there for Fizz. He really started off that engagement strong, but having to flash away at the end, burning the cooldown.
Sure.
You lose that flash, and it can come to bite you later on.
Certainly can, don't have that playmaking opportunity anymore, as well as that defensive capability of that flash here. Another 2 minutes on the Dragon, another 4 on the Rift Herald here. So neutral objectives will not be available really for quite a while. So both sides just trying to farm it out here. Maybe we'll see a play potentially, but generally not incentivized to go for anything on the map when there's no objective to take afterwards. So should see a minute or two of a little bit more calmness out of both sides here. Really the only thing that might be happening on the map is setting up for this next Dragon here. It's going to be an Ocean. That's going to be good for both teams for sure. Not a ton of poke, but certainly just having an extra Ocean, even still at this late phase of the game, in terms of the laning phase anyway, it's still very useful. So we'll see if either side decides to pick that one up here. But SSP are already completed for the Lucian. I don't know. I think that the Zane might just have enough for Blade the Rune King on back. We'll see if she does grab that. But both AD carries nearing that first item. And she wants, so basically the Vayne build right now. Sometimes you'll crit on Vayne, sometimes you do other things. Right now, the on-hit build is the best build for Vayne. You want to go Blade the Rune King into Ginsu's Rage Blade. What is that's going to do is that can give you a lot of on-hit damage. Blade the Rune King has lifesteal, attack speed, and AD. All great stats, of course, for Vayne as we get another DC from the Mundo, but he's going to come back here, so Kyle Durant going to join us once again here. It's going to give you that on-hit. So basically what we say on-hit is basically every time you auto, you get an additional effect. So in Blade the Rune King's effect, based on the current health of the enemy champion, you will do extra 80 damage. So the higher health they are, the more damage you do. This works on minions as well. And then Rage Blade has the effect of basically like, once you stack the Rage Blade after 6 auto attacks, you will then, every third auto attack, get a double effect on-hit effects. Now what that means is that, hold on, maybe, I think it's going to be Wet Noodle fight in the top side. I don't think anyone's going to really do anything here as they just trade grass box.
Top lane fights can be a little bit difficult because when you have two very tanky champions like this, a lot of health, not a ton of damage on either side, it can sort of just drag itself out.
Yeah, so looks like Fizz wants to interrupt my point once again. Going to find the ultimate onto Ace here. Actually, might buy a lot of time here. The King could survive. The Ignite on it means he doesn't get a lot of healing off that ultimate here, and now can't get over the wall, but Fizz still won't be able to find his way on there because of Nemesis, so the play warded off. And can go back, talk about on-hit items here. Rage Blade, every 3 auto actually seems to get a double auto attack. So what that means is your on-hit effect will essentially be doubled. So the extra going to come in mid lane here, and it looks like the Fizz and Mudu should be able to push us in. Got to clear out this wave here, but then with plating still up, they can get a lot of gold off this. This Spray Q going to get a plating in the top side and get out here, as just a plating or two going to be taken in the mid lane here. Not the best Rift Herald we've seen, but certainly not bad to get that last bit of gold before the platings disappear.
Yes, and you need every little bit of economic advantage you can get. Again, looking at the score line at the top, about a 2,000 gold advantage in the favor of Dimond High School. So you want to try and build upon that economic advantage when you have it, as we're gearing up perhaps for a contest of this Drake here.
Looks like it will be contest of this Drake. 3 members on the bot side for East High, trying to find a way into this Dragon Tip with 4 members here for Dimond. TP coming in from the Orange. It's going to be 5 members here from both sides. This double TP coming in from East High. Dragon goes over here, but Call the Force going to start things off here. A big ultimate from the Malphite. And here comes the follow-up for the rest of the team from East High. The Vayne untouched so far, but now into the backline goes the Fizz. Is going to get condemned away, though, and there's the Vayne. Big plays by her. Right now, it's actually 2 members only left for East High, though. Can they kite this one out here? Swain now on 2 members. A third coming to join the fight. Vayne coming in from the backside, looking for a big play. Finds a third proc of the Silver Bolt's going to find 1. Now Swain going to fall in the front line here. Nemesis gone, but the Vayne in a 1v2. Can she make the outplay? This is the moment for her. Trying to chase with a tumble. Bella's Breath going to find a bit of damage on her. Flashing forward, looking for the proc. She hit the wrong one with this. Oh my goodness. She hit the wrong one with the auto and didn't get the third proc. of the silver there, and oh my god, she could have gotten the Ornn, but a bit unfortunate there. The wrong target to prioritize, and both the Mudo and the Ornn get away.
So close to such a tremendous outplay by the Vayne there. But I also want to give a shout out to the Malphite there too, starting that engagement, going in with the ultimate, knocking up 3 of the enemy champions. Once you get that, that is your indication. Okay, we have it. Let's get ready to rumble. And we saw a huge team fight there.
And the last noblesse with a great condemn away on that Fizz as well. Hopped into the backline just like an assassin should. Didn't even, didn't make the Vayne waver at all. Just condemned him away, kited, and then ended up actually was chasing the assassin. A reversal of that usual trend between AD carry and assassin. And Nemesis did his best to stay alive in the front line. Did a lot of work, but the Vayne in the end, it'll come up with a couple, but not able to completely clean up the fight there. But that's a great sign if that's the way the fight goes down right now with Vayne only on 1 item. Again, on Rage Blade, she gets incredibly strong because she's going to get that second auto on those on hits when she is stacked up. And that means that she'll be able to stack the silver bolts. Every 3 autos, Vayne does % health true damage, which means that basically 20% of your health, well, it depends on how many points she has in silver, her W there. It depends on how much damage you're doing. But basically, like 20% of your health is just going to be gone no matter what. That's what % health true damage is. True damage, it will deal that damage no matter what, no matter how many resistance you have. So % health true damage is like the best form of damage you can ever have. So Vayne will always be doing that amount of your health. So if you can stack those silver bolts a bit faster, basically means it's going to take a lot less autos to knock down those tanks, no matter how much armor they have.
Oh, absolutely. Vayne's style of play, as you mentioned, so boom or bust, right? When you get it to work well, it's perfect. And we saw the opportunity for it in that very end of that sequence there, chasing down the 2 enemies through the mid lane, just not able to get that 3rd silver bullet. So painful because it's so close, the opportunity was there.
Alrighty here. Usually you go for the max first on the... Hold on.
Oh my.
Play coming in. Ornn here with the call to Forge. Going to find the double knock-up here onto the bot lane of East High. Batting back is the Vayne, though, and now a 3v1 on the other side. Malphite banging a lot of room, flashing away from the Fizz, but he will fall in the end as Nemesis coming in, flash away from the Fizz, and the Rollins of 2 going to get the AD carry out here. The Lucian trying to run away here, but now the Fizz against Nemesis will be able to dodge the explosion damage from the ultimate, so somehow they all get away for Dimond as 2 members fall from East High, 1 on the top side, 1 on the bot side.
And I really like that play from Fizz there. Just drawing the attention on himself and then able to get away. It buys enough time for his teammate to get away from the fight, let them reset a little bit. Really smart there. Dimond High School looking good.
Well, we've got 17 minutes into this game, and Dimond High School are ahead in gold, no doubt. But this game feels very even, not like the first 2 games where it's very clear we had a large advantage to one side or the other. Again, Dimond High School are on the lead for sure. That's not in dispute, but the lead doesn't feel as dominant as it has been in the past. Rift are going to be dropped in the top side, or the bot side rather, with the Fizz, and the Rift Herald not going to be needed for that first turret takedown, but maybe going to get a charge on this inner turret here. We'll see. As Malphite unlikely to stop this as Fizz. Well, hold on. Quick teleport by Shelly.
Oh,
nice
wow.
moves there. As Malphite actually going in on the Fizz here. Here comes a collapse by East High. The Ross form of the Kane coming in. Ultimate put down the Shark, going to find a lot of damage. The Malphite going to fall here. He's got no MR. He's built all armor. Down he goes. A 1-for-1 trade by the Fizz, but they do clean up the kill there. And now Nemesis in the mid lane trying to hold off the push here from Dimond High School in the mid lane. He's low on health, though. Will not be able to keep up this mid lane turret here. That Fizz bought so much time and pressure in the bot side that a free mid lane turret and top lane out are going to go down here for Dimond High School as these waves crash in. Big win for them, and they even trade even in the bot side.
You will absolutely take a 1-for-1 trade to also pick up the pressure on both top and bot side. Huge, huge play by the Fizz there. Again, Dimond High School, we talked about it earlier, they're not as dominant perhaps in their earlier victory, but certainly starting to get ahead here, looking to build upon these plays.
Certainly want to build upon that, but Dimond High School want to build upon these dragons here. They've already got 2. They need a couple more for the soul, but if they get that, that could be big here. It's going to be a Cloud Soul, which is, it's good, but generally one of the weaker ones overall for sure. They use them pretty well, though. All their ultimates, if they get movement speed off them, pretty powerful, but certainly generally not the best soul. But here, not terrible at all. So Dimond High School trying to secure that one for sure. And both sides, moving around this dragon here. We had a big fight over Dragon earlier on. That was the Vayne play. We kept talking about how well she played that fight. We'll see if she can recreate that magic here. Malphite with the ultimate. Again, he's built all armor, so the Fizz does a lot of damage to Malphite right now. As a knockout over 2, there's the ultimate from the Malphite. Call it forward, got in response, finds 3. Vayne now taunted in the backside. Vayne trying to kite it out, but she's got 1 here. It looks like East High doing a lot of damage here. Fizz in the Zonias here. It looks to East High might take this. Big plays by the Vayne. Eventually she falls, now 3 on 2. East High are running low on health, especially on their jungler here. The Kane comes back and heals a bit, but he goes down. Kyle Durant, he's healing up. He's still alive somehow. Triple for the Mundo, and the 2 tanks are the ones that survived. Quadra for the Mundo in the end. He doesn't have a single damage item, and he just knocked down 4 members of East High. Diamond High School come out on top with the 2 Beef Boys still alive.
The Beefy Boys absorbing all the damage that they could there. Again, we talk about that initial engage with Malphite going in on the ultimate, knocking up all these players, but it's the tanks that come through in the end. They get the dragon. Wow, what a play from Diamond High School.
That Conqueror is so valuable for Kyle Durant. Stacked up the AD, got some healing as well. And despite the Executioners calling on the Vayne, they just didn't have enough grievous wounds to go around to stop both those tanks from healing, and there was just too much healing from them. They couldn't consistently apply that, and even through it, he was healing. The Mundo hasn't gone down yet, okay? He's the only person in the game here who hasn't fallen. That's a great sign with your Mundo with a 5-0-6 scoreline. That's concerning for East High. The good news is they have Vayne, which is probably the best counter to a tank there is. But that last fight, she didn't quite get through the entire health bars. Got very close, but she really needs that Rage Blade before that fight, that big deciding fight where she's able to just shred the tanks is going to come through.
Yes, and speaking of the advantage for Mundo, not only an advantage on the scoreboard being 5-0-6, but look at the CS difference as well. Nearly a 40 gold difference between...
Nemesis flashing away from the Fizz here. Gonna use the ultimate here. A double hit from the Malphite. Double knock up. Nemesis still alive, trying to cut away. Call the forward jack comes through. Kyle Durant gonna knock down the Swain here. 1 apiece so far. As here comes Tricky Zach, gonna find the double knock up as well with his ultimate. But here comes SKT Huni, gonna find the jungler on the enemy side. 2 for 1 so far. A lot of damage with only 3 members going down in total. Mid laners, a mid laner apiece in the jungle as well for East High. It doesn't look like they can wave clear this. Again, both sides with limited wave clear, and the turret will fall in the top side. The inner going down here. Baron seems like a possibility, but a risky one if they do want to go for it. Looks like they'll just take the turret and the jungle camps to get out.
I think they might want to play this a little bit patient. I think they know that they're ahead, and there's no reason to try and risk that position by going for a too aggressive Baron call. They can sit back, relax. They're now comfortably ahead at this point, both in gold and on the scoreboard. They're just going to try and play this game out to the best of their ability.
So Swain's got that Zonias already, which is a big pickup for him in these team fights. Getting that stasis is massive because his ultimate still damages people and he still heals while he's in the stasis. So that 2.5 seconds, he buys a ton of time, does a lot of damage, heals a lot. That's going to be huge in these fights for sure, but the Spearfish is completed for Mundo as well. That's going to be a 30% buff on his healing. So whenever he uses that ultimate, which just heals him a massive amount for his health, he's going to be getting even more on top of that. So the Mundo will basically heal out his whole health bar over the course of a fight unless you are consistently applying those grievous wounds, which only last for a couple seconds every time you hit an auto with the Executioner calling that the Vayne has. So we got to see, basically when there's grievous wounds on that, you'll see a little heart with 2 daggers on top of the Mundo. That's a sign that grievous wounds are on and he gets reduced healing. So keep your eyes on that as well. We're still waiting on that Rage Blade for Vayne. The Ginsu's Rage Blade, super important for her. All farm should basically be directed towards Vayne right now. She should be getting every single camp, because they need that Rage Blade as soon as possible. If they don't get it for the next fight, they are at a humongous disadvantage.
Yes, and we saw how critical the health regeneration was for Mundo. Even in that previous team fight around the Drake, in that situation, health bars going so low, but just staying alive long enough, any additional health regen will put Mundo at a tremendous advantage. As you said, the only counter is Vayne. She's got to pick up that Rage Blade. Interesting build order here for the Lucian. He's gone for Essence Reaver now into Blade of the Ruined King. Usually it's reversed if you do go for that build. Blade of the Ruined King does give you some sustain in these fights, but doesn't accelerate towards that crit build, which you've already gone for with the Essence Reaver, so kind of interesting there. But the sustain, the healing could be good in these fights. It was good for the Mundo. Hey, why not get some healing myself as the Lucian here? The turret going to go down in the bottom side here. Another inner falling. Only 1 inner left now in the mid lane here for the side of East High. I mean, all they really need is 1 good fight to get themselves back in this game, but they are losing right now. About 8,000 gold down, definitely on the back foot, but again, Rage Blade. I can't say it enough. They need to get Rage Blade on Vayne. Yes, they absolutely do. And once they get that Rage Blade, they have to group together and work together to win these fights. Vane won't be able to outplay everyone on her own. She has to work with her teammates, as we're going to be seeing perhaps another skirmish here in mid.
Well, the good news is they have some of the best engaged tools here. Malphite Ultimate, the Unstoppable Force, Nautilus. I mean, those are two of the best engaged champions in the game. Once they get the Vane ready, I mean, it's go time for East High. They're not looking back at all. Dimond High School, I mean, they're so tanky, but again, Vane is like probably the best champion in the game to deal with that. I mean, maybe Kog'Maw, but even Kog'Maw doesn't have percent out through damage, so, I mean, East High have all the tools here. They just got to get to that Rage Blade and execute the team fight.
I think Dimond will be trying to draw everyone out here.
Little rush cheese here. Call of Forjack coming in. Tricky Zach already down. Last Noblesse in the front line. He's kiting back. Good job here by the Malphite. Big knock up there. Noblesse untouched. He's got a lot of damage coming in. The Ornn already almost falling here. As Malphite, he's going low. The Fizz will pick up that kill, but the Vane's still out putting out damage here. And unfortunately, they're just so tanky, even with her max health true damage. She's not able to proc those silver bolts enough to really matter here as two members fall from East High. Dimond High School look to be going for this Dragon. They're trying to pick up that soul. Again, not the best soul in the game, but certainly good in this situation here. They can pick that up to be a big advantage of the coming fight for that movement speed and CDR. That's massive, but again, any fight is winnable for East High once they get the tools they need on their Vane. And if they can get that priority engaged, that time though, they were the ones being engaged on. They went a little bit too far forward. Tricky Zach fell before he can even get many abilities off. That brush cheese was a great idea from Dimond High School.
Yes, it was so smart, just waiting in the brush there, trying to pull the enemy team in. Once they see that first engage, they all just pop out and spring into action. Really clean from them, and they didn't have any takedowns on their end. Everyone managed to survive the fight, so they continue to press on the attack, pick up the Drake. It's really smart, it's really effective.
We're really close to rating. We're really close.
We're getting there.
We're really like a couple hundred gold off this. You can see she's literally all three components that build into Rage Blade right now, but not the actual item itself here. The recurve bow, the pickaxe. Oh, there it is. Okay.
We got it. All
We're
right.
ready now. We can fight. Just wait for Vane, and now it's go time for East High here. Dimond High School, again, have been taking the fights recently and have a gold lead, but Vane has been good in these fights. The last Noblesse has been definitely solid. One of our best AD carries that we've had so far. If he can pull it off, I mean, he'd be the hero here. It's all coming basically down to how the Vane plays. I think that Fizz's only goal in these upcoming fights is just get on her and make sure she doesn't do anything in these fights. It's so tense now, but literally it's just the last Noblesse. Can he do it? Because basically the entire weight of East High's hopes are on him.
Yeah, what did I say earlier? 80 carry difference?
80 carry difference. For sure. That's definitely what you said earlier on.
100%.
100% here. As Blue Buff going to be stolen away here for SKT. Huni going to grab that. Get some CDR and mana regeneration here. Cloud Soul over. Oh, they found the Malphite. He's going to have to flash away. Not the engage they're looking for definitely. But here comes the Fizz ultimate onto Ace. Going into the wall, but oh, he's already down. Not what East High need. Noblesse is here. He's doing some damage here, but the fight is just already over before he can do anything. Malphite going to find one. Knock him on SKT Huni. Noblesse trying to flash away. The Fizz is on top of him. He's going to go down here. A massive fight by Dimond High School. They've got the 80 carry. They've got the Swain in a moment as he comes out. Not even one person from Dimond High School to fall, and that was it. East High just didn't get the engage they needed. There was no chance for the last Noblesse. The engage was all wrong, and Dimond High School, they're the ones, the aggressors. They're the ones who are going to take down the inhibitor turret. They're the ones who are going to take down the inhibitor, and maybe the game here, the Kane going to respond in the moment here, but 10 seconds left on every other member.
They may have the ability to end. If they want to, I really think they can push this all the way in. They just have to go fast.
Kane's got to buy some time. Misses the knockup at first. Now going to ult here onto the Fizz. Maybe it'll take him out. One more auto will do it. He gets one down. Here comes Tricky Zach as well. It's a 2v4 situation. They just need to buy time. Nexus turret's down. We're on the Nexus. Big knockup here by the Kane. Last Noblesse coming in. They might defend the Nexus here. They're on the run. Dimond High School being chased here. Last Noblesse, 1,000 gold shutdown. Now he's getting taunted. He's kiting back here. Knockup on the Ornn. They've got him. The Noblesse is down here. SKT trying to kite it out. But he's got support from his team. There's two members left here. It's a 3-on-2 right now. Swain finds the pull, but a call forward. Got to find a double knock here. PreyQ trying to get out here. Looks like they will survive. Dimond High School are on the run, but they've got two Nexus towers down, two inhibitors still, two inhibitors down as well, and one inhibitor left standing here. East High, they saved the game, but just barely.
By the skin of their teeth, they are still in this one. You really felt like Dimond High School could have pulled it out there in the very last seconds of that fight, but all of those respawns starting to come in. They work in the favor of East High. They managed to hang on somehow.
This is what we live for. This game could have just ended, but a massive play from the Kane who struggled all game. Ace has had a rough one. but that knock was a massive. He did not find that knock. If that Nexus would be dead for sure. And then the support comes in. They revive one at a time, but they do just enough. National Blast put out the damage. Wasn't able to quite find the cleanup, but did it just enough. That was the key thing. East High did just enough to stay in this one. They've got another chance, but again, they can't get caught up before the fight starts. Last time the Malphite too far up. Couldn't quite survive long enough. And once they want to get engaged on, East High need to find that perfect engage. And then the last No Blast can do his magic here. The Baron going to be started up here by Dimond High School. Malphite's walking in here. All the members of East High are moving over here. Although Tricky Zach not on the side of the map they were hoping for. He needs to come back in. They're warding him off the Baron, but the engage needs to come through unless they want to give up this Baron. But that's a risky course of action here. As Elder spawning about a minute and a half. They're going to give over the Baron here. Looks like they're going to try and go back to base and find a fight there. But that's a risky call. We'll see if it pays off for East High.
Well, I think the issue of it is, again, you see the pings coming out. Look at the minion wave crashing into that bot side. There's just simply so much natural pressure being built up from the lack of inhibitors on the half of East High here. They have to defend their base no matter what.
Well, the Baron minions are coming in. The Nexus is entirely exposed. There's nothing defending it right now. They might just throw their bodies at it. Call the Forge God gonna come out here. Gonna find a knock onto the front line. Tricky Zach getting a little ace in the back line. SK Huni get knocked up. Noblesse, massive autos here. He can't get out the damage. The Mundo and the Fizz are both on him. Already Noblesse is gone. This might be it for Dimond High School. They could end it here. Nemesis flashing out, but he needs to be in there to do the damage. Triple kill for the Fizz. It's just the sway left. They flash on him. The taunt. That's gonna be it. Dimond High School are gonna take it. The Nexus open. Fizz with a quadra kill to end it. An ace. Dimond High School take it.
What a great ending to that game. Dimond High School pressing their advantage all the way until the very end. A huge showing from Fizz there with the quadra to close it out.
Massive plays from that Fizz. I mean, eventually, the Noblesse, it looked like maybe that was the fight. Massive autos in the front line, but the Mundo turns on that stone plate. The Fizz and the Mundo both just run at Noblesse. No one there to defend him. And that was the story of the game. They just had the tools, but couldn't quite find that perfect fight to come back in the game when they were down. And East High, they're so close. They even wore them off the Nexus one time, but unfortunately, they just couldn't buy enough time. And they go down here. Amazing game here to close it out.
It most certainly was. And once again, congratulations to Dimond High School. They really did play well throughout this entire series. They showed us what they were made of in that Game 3 there. They went for this very tanky, beefy build, and it worked out for them. The Malphite and the Ornn working together, getting those ultimates out. Great job from them. They managed to take down the Alaska School Activities Association state final for League of Legends.
What a fantastic performance from them here. That was a really interesting series as well because we went completely from one side of Game 1 to one side of Game 2 and then back and forth in Game 3. A slight advantage there for Dimond High School throughout, but it felt back and forth the whole time. Fights going either way, and eventually at the end it was just like we kept throwing ourselves at the Nexus, kept throwing ourselves there, throwing ourselves the animated carry, and eventually just kind of muscled the way to the end there. Pure heart got them to the finish line.
It certainly did, and the other interesting piece of it as well is East might look back at that last Baron take from Dimond High School. They had a brief moment where it looked like they might have been able to contest, but they backed off. They elected to go back to base. Ultimately, they couldn't contest the Baron, and they couldn't defend the base either. Maybe a decision point that could have proven costly for them.
I mean, it's just so hard in those late game situations.
It
You only have
is.
a fraction of a second to make that situation, so it's so difficult. You can look back on 1,000 what-ifs, but in the end, Dimond High School take it. Fantastic play from both these teams. What a series we had. 2 best-of-3s today in that last game, probably the best of them all. And we're going to throw it to Necra here to close out the night, but thank you for joining us. I'm not Kios here, as well as Perino. Thanks so much for watching. What a great series. Congratulations, Dimond High School.
Thank you so much, Kios and Perino. And congratulations once again to Dimond High School taking not 1, but 2 state championship titles home today for the state of Alaska. Rocket League, right before the amazing best-of-3 series League of Legends finals. We had 2 3-game series today. What a treat for League of Legends. But it all ended here, and just another final congratulations and commiserations to East High School for making it all the way to the grand finals. The work that you put into your communication this season really showed by having such a decisive Game 1 and then making it such a close Game 3 at the very, very end. Also want to thank the Alaskan School Activities Association for providing a league for these bright and passionate students to play their esport. And a special thank you to PlayVS for providing the organization to make this all a reality for these students. Once again, thanks to our casters, Bcop, Kios, and Perino for their excellent commentary for today, our production, and for all of the viewers at home for tuning in and making this such a special treat. Thank you so much. I've been Nekra. Hope you guys have had a wonderful night, and I hope you all have a better tomorrow.
I think a lot of students have just gotten another sense of how to belong and how to create relationships outside of what were the traditional avenues.
And a lot of my students talk about how they feel safe in the esports program, and that's their family, that's their community. And I think the esports gives kids a future that they might otherwise not have.
Man, I wish that had been available when I was in high school.